Not a damn chance. Not a damn chance.
What's the name of the TV show where it's the guys in the restaurant? It just came out like a couple years ago.
Bear?
The Bear.
Yeah.
How real is that? I have to ask you that. I've been wanting to ask you that
show
question.
Stresses me out.
Is
Like,
that
I
what it's
can't
like
even
to
watch
be in a
it.
kitchen?
I've never watched an episode.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really. When I was younger in my career, I wanted to watch every cooking everything. Now I don't. Now when I watch TV, I want to see car chases. I want to see
Right.
dragons. I want to see
different stuff.
magic.
You want to get out of the world
I do
that you're
all
in
day.
all the time. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know how many cops, when you want, I would imagine when you're like in police academy, you're like watching all like the movies and the shows. But by the time you're a 20-year veteran, you're not racing home to watch the new cop show.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're trying to escape it.
Yeah.
You want to you don't want that on your mind.
Yeah.
And if it stresses you out, God damn, it's going to stress me
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already stressed out
Dude.
from going through that all day, every day.
The show's a great show. I mean, it gets great reviews. People love it, but for me, it's just too stressful for me. Like the energy is just like
It is.
It's just so intense, like anxiety. I'm just like,
It's
can't
high
do
stakes,
it.
way higher stakes than I thought. It's how I feel when I go see live concerts.
Yeah.
Because I'm like living vicariously through the performers, and so I get stage fright for them.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, like because
Like
I'm
nervous for them?
Yeah, I get nervous for, or like if I go see a Broadway show, because I did 4 years of Broadway. Like I know what those like before you walk on stage, like what those jitters and stage fright can feel like. So I get anxious for the performers.
Dude, I can only imagine that. Seems like it'd be so gut wrenching.
Did the jitters ever go away for you when you were performing? Like at a certain point?
It would come and go, but I feel like I have a theory, like if you care about your performance, and I've heard I've heard famous actors talk about being so nervous for auditions.
Yeah.
I feel like if you care about your performance, you always have a little bit of those butterflies in your stomach. Like there's nothing you can do to get rid of it. It's just kind of part of what you do. But then you get out there.
Yeah.
And the adrenaline kicks in,
Yeah.
the muscle memory kicks in. But I've definitely had, on Broadway, you watch other actors lose their train of thought and just, they call it going into the white room, where you're like also somebody singing a song and they forget their lyrics. And it's a nightmare to watch somebody go through that. Like, especially, on Broadway where there's like a certain standard of the performance. And, people in the audience usually don't know if somebody messes up a little bit.
Yeah.
But if somebody forgets their whole song or something like that, it's difficult to recover from. So you watch that happen a lot because obviously Broadway is live and you can't, the show must go on.
Yeah, you got to just make do, right? Just make with what you got.
You just have to figure it out. It's happened to me. It happened to me one time. And after that, I got insane about running my lines, running my lyrics, like right before I would step on the stage. Because if you do 8 shows a week, like I did Wicked.
Really?
Starring role in Wicked.
Wild.
Which was my dream role.
What years?
I was in it. So I did the national tour for a year around the country where you go to like a city for a month.
Because I was waiting my turn to say I've only seen one live show, and it was Wicked.
Oh.
And it was in Chicago.
Okay.
And it was, I want to say 2010, 11 era.
Okay.
And I've been around, I'm from LA, and my mom was an acting coach, and I've been around acting, and I've done acting, and I've
sweet.
directed little things and written stuff, and I've always just never really thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And I went and saw it, and I was like, that's a 2-hour fucking scene.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a single take of an entire movie.
Yes.
And I was absolutely blown away by the subject matter wasn't that cool to me.
Sure.
But I was blown away by the craft that I was witnessing. So funny that you
I'm
were.
sure that gave you
I
like
wonder if you were there.
I was in it a little later. I did it
okay.
for a year on the tour, but then I went to Broadway.
Okay,
and so I
cool.
did it in New York for a year. But I would hear this a lot because like wives would drag their husbands to the show. And there would be something about it they could appreciate. Like I wasn't a Broadway musical guy growing up. It wasn't something like I was in the show with people that like their whole life wanted to be on Broadway. And so they studied musical theater and all that. I came from like the music industry and had a singing background and record labels and all that stuff. And so it was a little bit of a different segue for me into it. But yeah, the stakes are really high and the level of performance that happens on on a Broadway show is like it's incredibly fine tuned. You get notes every single night from 3 different people, on acting, on choreography, the dance captain. Like, it's incredible how much they're constantly fine tuning this because people are spending several hundreds of dollars on a ticket. So
It's like a post shift at the restaurant.
Yeah, it has to just be so perfect.
yeah, it has to be perfect. It has to be. That's exactly it. And so, yeah, the amount of like, you build a lot of, you build up a certain mental toughness to overcoming, what that feels like to be in front of several thousands of people every single night. And eventually you get so comfortable. That's actually the danger is you get so comfortable in it. You're like in the middle of a show and you're like, okay, so later I need to like my to-do list. I need to return the email. I need to do laundry. And then you forget what you're doing. And that's when people forget their place.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard that before. It was like a fighter. I was listening to a podcast, but it was like, as soon as you don't feel those butterflies in your stomach, like something's off.
Yes.
Like you need those. Like you need that anxiety.
You need that sharpness.
Yeah.
It keeps you sharp. That's exactly it. So you saw it in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a Broadway show or like a
I've never
live
been to
musical or anything?
No, I've never been to anything live.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like again, for me, I love Wizard of Oz. So
Okay.
like it did make sense. I'm sure there's, I'm sure there would be some where the subject matter actually appeals to me, and there's some that maybe don't. But yeah, just if you go to it strictly for just like appreciating how difficult that job, because like I love watching anyone who's good at anything do the thing they're good at.
Yeah.
And when you watch someone, like if you would all appreciate or understand like what acting is, and have, like when you watch your favorite show or you watch your favorite movie, there or even in like when you're recording an album, there's sometimes recording line by line.
Yes.
And it's edited and cut together.
Yep.
And they've got several different
40
angles.
different takes.
100%. And these guys and girls,
One scene.
It's go. Which
Just
why
go
that
time.
new show? What was it called? The British family. The kid kills a girl.
Oh yeah, Adolescence.
Did you see that?
I actually started watching it recently.
Unbelievable.
I've heard, yeah.
So I
One
didn't.
take.
Every episode is one shot.
It's a oneer.
Yes, every episode.
Wow.
And you don't even, because I didn't even realize it until episode 2, because I just found it on Netflix. I didn't like read about it and like, oh, I want to check this out. I was like, oh, there's a new show and it's in the top 10, so it's probably worth at least the first episode. And I'm wondering, like, there's like really long, like they're driving in a car, and I'm like, this is a long scene. And then they're getting really tight on certain things, and then I'm starting to realize, I'm like, I don't think there's been a cut.
That's incredible. That's hard to do.
But the dialogue in some of the, if you're not all the way through, go watch it because you will appreciate.
I finished the first episode. I literally just started.
Okay, it gets insanely good because they've just got shots where it's like someone goes out a door and they have to move the camera through a window to go out the backyard, and then they have to get in a car and they have to drive over there, and the person is already there because
That's so complicated.
Wild.
It's so complicated, and it's so fucking good. And you've got this like 12-year-old kid, like, with so much raw emotion and holding, like, there's one episode that's like him and his attorney having a 30-minute conversation
Wow.
with like, where it's like the range is like going from cocky to losing it to coming back, and I'm like, this is a 12-year-old kid. Like, this is going to ruin, like, he's going to become a crazy person.
That's rare for TV shows.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of like Hollywood film actors want to do Broadway.
Yeah, I think it's a
Because
British,
there's like a credibility to it.
yeah, it's a British thing, and I think I read they were like all Shakespeare,
Yes.
like,
They're trained
Yeah,
at a young
that's what they
age
do.
in theater.
Yeah.
That's why casting directors love British actors because they like, grow up with it. That's cool that I didn't know that your mom did that and you had that background.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from LA, so I've got, I had family that involved, my dad was a record producer.
Oh, sweet.
My mom was an acting coach, and her sisters, and her father was a super famous, actor and comedian, but like a long time ago.
Okay. So you kind of grew up around the industry.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have an appreciation for it.
Yeah.
And I thought at one point I would get into it, and I still one day, probably will.
You have the look, the personality, like you absolutely could.
Are you from LA originally?
No, I'm from like a super small town out like very country farmland in Northern California called Redding, which is like
No,
an
Redding.
hour away from Chico.
Yeah.
Up near Mount Shasta. Beautiful place to grow
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Awesome. Redwood forests, mountains, lakes, all that stuff.
And you were just like always into like acting and music and stuff?
I was, but it was actually really challenging because I was raised in a family of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Really?
Yeah, and that kind of gets like, I don't know if have you ever known any Jehovah's Witnesses before?
Not like directly.
They did knock on your, maybe somebody knocked on your door.
I've had a couple friend
I've had the
groups
knock
that like
a couple
that like
times, yeah.
somebody I was friends with someone who used to be
Right.
Like I don't really share.
Yeah, it kind of gets like lumped into like being Mormon or
Yeah.
like, but it's a very different. And so you grow up feeling very different because you're really discouraged to own. You don't really spend time with people that aren't in the church. You don't celebrate birthdays or holidays. You don't say pledge allegiance to the flag. Like you're not really allowed to play school sports. Like it's a very insular religion. And they very much discourage like pursuing like being on stage and performing and all that stuff. So like I was raring to go. I was like, Mom, Dad, like I want to be, I want to be on stage. I want to be an actor. I always loved singing. My mom's a piano teacher.
Okay.
So you were like allowed to kind of you're allowed to play music,
Yeah.
but not like pursue it professionally, basically.
Was it about? Was the idea of the religion that you need to dedicate your life to the religion?
Yes.
And therefore, it was almost like you could play someone else's music, but by writing your own music and trying to go out there, you're turning your back on what you were put on earth to do, which is promote the religion.
Yes, exactly.
Got
And there's been some very famous like Michael Jackson was raised a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, no way.
That's why that disclaimer in the front of the Thriller video about not believing in the occult and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he was also, so they actually, once you become baptized in the church, you can be excommunicated from the church, which means that they call it disfellowshipping, which is basically like they announce your name to the church, to
You've been
all the
banished.
church members.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
get
like you're done.
yeah, you're done. Like nobody
Yeah.
can talk to you anymore.
Wow.
You're
Wild.
blackballed.
So even talk to you like on the street, like as friends?
Yeah, I think it's kind of softened up maybe a little bit in the recent years, their approach on this. But when I grew up in it, if you become disfellowship for any reason, no other member can talk to you.
If you're not with us, you're against us.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, you're basically blackballed.
Did you get disfellowshipped?
I did. I got disfellowshipped. Part of that was because I wanted to pursue entertainment.
At what age?
I was 16 years old.
Okay.
wow.
Yeah,
And they're
that's
just
young.
like, he's done.
Yeah. And yeah, I was like, you basically go sit in this meeting with the elders of the church
Like
and
the top heads.
they're quizzing you on all kinds of, the other thing was I was dating a girl that wasn't in the church.
Okay.
And that was frowned upon?
That's extremely frowned upon. If you do date, you have to have a chaperone and all these things. So
Really?
it's very, very intense. But they're like grilling you like,
You guys have things like, what do they call it? Wiggling or soaking?
soaking?
Shaking or whatever?
soaking, I think it is. That is not allowed. Soaking is not allowed. Touching is not allowed.
Really?
Yeah, no premarital any sex, nothing like that. But they were kind of like hip to the idea that I was probably doing things I shouldn't. And so my parents were in that meeting and they're asking you like very intense questions, including like, are you masturbating? That's not allowed.
Wow.
Very intense. And I was like, I feel like for me, I always like had a lot of questions about the faith, and I was always like the one who was just asking questions about it. And but I actually got taken out of public school. My dad didn't want me to be around bad associations, and so I ended up doing my senior year of high school, did dual enrollment, and I went to the community college, and they were doing a local Grease production. And so I was like, oh, Grease the musical. That's like the one musical I know. Grew up watching John Travolta and that.
Yeah.
Booked Danny Zuko, the
Wow.
lead, and my dad was like, you're not going to live in this house.
Oh, wow.
And be in the local, Grease musical. You're not going to date this girl from the church. And so I was like, I just think I should be disfellowshipped.
Oh, so you told them I'm out.
Yeah. And my dad was.
How did he take that? I imagine.
I had to move out. I had to move out of my house.
16.
Yeah, I was like 16, 17-ish. And I moved
Wild.
down the street couple streets down with my buddy from high school, whose sister had just gone to college and he had like an extra room, and so I moved out.
Oh, that worked out, right?
Yeah,
Like, what?
yeah, and I mean, I think there was a certain like resilience of like all my family and most of my friends were Jehovah's Witnesses, and now
Yeah.
they're no longer talking to me.
Yeah.
And so there was like a certain like mental toughness and resilience at a young age of like, I'm on my own now.
That seems That
No.
seems like very intense for someone that young to kind of deal with that. You know, like you just got thrown into adulthood just like that.
Yes.
Right. And then like you got like disowned, right, by like everyone you knew leading up to this point, and now you're just like starting fresh as like on your own as an adult.
Yeah. And well, you're kind of still in high school.
Yeah.
My mom really struggled with it. And like, to be fair, now I have a much better relationship with my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
But at the time, the church is saying, you really need to cut him off. My mom was my biggest fan and always been my biggest supporter. So
That's
she
so awesome.
really struggled with all this.
It's so foreign to me that like you would get thrown out of your house for something as innocuous as wanting to be in the school play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my
When you say it like that, right?
because just what do you think you're going to get thrown? Like my dad was given the same thing because he wanted to be in a rock and roll band.
Okay.
But that's
Was
like
that religious based or church?
no.
Oh.
It was my dad's 76 now. So
Okay.
when he was 16 and grew his hair out and wanted to join a rock and roll band,
60s,
it was
70s.
yeah, it was like not in my house. You're not going to have long hair.
You can't dance in this town. Yeah.
that kind of thing. But he grew up on a farm in Iowa, so they weren't really all about rock and roll.
Yeah.
But to hear that's just so foreign.
Yeah, it feels like the town from the movie Footloose. You're not allowed to dance here. Like it was that kind of thing. It was very much that. And it was like, okay, so I'm working 2 part-time jobs. I was like a lifeguard. I was working at like a local retail store in the electronics section, and I end up doing Grease, and came to the attention of like a local acting teacher, and she was like, I see some real talent in you, and she's like, I want to represent you. I'll give you free acting classes, and we'll
Wow.
start submitting you for auditions.
This
and
is
stuff.
in Reading.
This happens to be in Reading, which
Wow.
is like
Not a lot of talent.
No.
Talent agents in Reading, I
no.
imagine.
There's like a famous there's like one famous football player I think that came out of Reading, but typically nobody makes it in entertainment out of Reading, which I love Reading. But it was like, okay, now I'm gonna try to submit myself for some auditions and see what happens, and I'm mailing my headshot out, and this Making the Band audition comes through. This guy Lou Pearlman, who people knew had put together Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, putting together this next big band.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a TV show. But nothing had really happened like that yet, because there was no American Idol, there was no
Yeah.
Voice or anything.
And
like
you've
that.
never done TV or anything. You just did a
no
couple plays
Yeah,
and
I just
stuff, right?
did
Around
Grease.
town.
That was
Yeah.
it, which is kind of a good training ground, I guess, for auditioning to be in a boy band.
Yeah.
But it was like I barely made the cutoff age-wise for that. I just turned 18, so I graduated high school, and I submitted an audition tape for that.
And were you just basically kind of like paying for yourself, your own life at this point? Like no support or anything like that, just your jobs that you had?
Yeah, and talking about like adversity, because that's
Yeah.
what I love. You guys focus on adversity so much in this, in these conversations and on this podcast. I feel like people bond way more through shared adversity than we do our successes, right? And yeah, I had a old, like a 1972 Chevy Nova. The engine had just exploded on me and caught fire. I was riding my bike to try to get to acting class and my jobs and stuff, just trying to scrap money, and
Yeah.
didn't have the support from my parents, and I had to borrow the money to fly to the audition from my acting teacher, who
wow.
I promised I would pay her back.
Damn.
It's amazing to have someone like that who believes
know.
in you, though.
Seriously.
Yeah, Rebecca was her name, and I really that was like a key person. Like you always have those key people in your
Yeah,
life that
yeah.
like that one person that like believes in you.
Yeah. That is so rad.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful that she did that for me, because otherwise I wouldn't have. I don't know what I would be doing. I'd probably be still back in Reading.
For sure.
I'd like to go back for 1 second to what it felt like and how you coped with making the decision to turn your back on the church so that you could pursue this passion. Because I have to imagine for every person out there who does leave home, 1,000 don't.
Yeah.
Right? Because of the pressures of society, your parents, your friends. As a teenager, the most important thing is, what does everyone else think about me?
Yeah,
Right? That's
of
the most
course.
important thing. So knowing that every person in your life will deem you a bad guy, an outcast, what is the thought process? What is the mindset? How do you make that decision? And what's that feel like?
It's a really good question. And I feel like being excommunicated from the church was actually like the other side of getting through that obstacle was like, okay, like I've already been disowned. Like, what do I have to lose now to a certain degree?
Yeah.
And I also feel like I became obsessed with reading motivational books. You know, I was already kind of a nerd because I'd grown up so much in the church and just like a kid in my room that wasn't allowed to do much. And so I was reading Zig Ziglar. I was reading Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I also on the side had a side hustle for a vitamin company. And I was like, I was like doing like a multi-level marketing company. And like, I was trying to do everything I could to hustle. It's kind of like an Amway version of like a company you could be involved in. So I was like, I felt like to get through the obstacle of other people judging me, you have to kind of get to the point where I feel like you're like, you bet on yourself.
Yeah.
And if you care too much about what other people's opinions are, you're going to end up like living your life for other people and you'll live someone else's dreams for you. You have to like get really clear on like what is my passion? What is my purpose in life? And you're right. For every person that leaves home, 1,000 people don't. And I think the number one fear for pretty much all human beings is like judgment from other people. Like, what are other people going to think?
No, it is.
If I make this decision or if I do that. And like, that is probably one of the biggest obstacles that humans in general have to overcome.
Yeah, I think once you break through that, you kind of hit a whole new level.
You do.
Yeah.
You know,
You get like,
you have to break from that thought.
you reach
know?
like higher levels of I don't give a fuck energy.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
which happens like at different stages for people. Sometimes that doesn't hit for people until later in life when they're like, okay, well, I'm in my 40s or 50s now. Like, what do I have to lose? You know,
Yeah.
happened for me kind of younger. And actually, the thing about it is like, I love this idea of the obstacle is the way.
Yeah.
I read this author named Ryan Holiday. Are you guys familiar with him?
Yeah, he's a good friend.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I love his stoic wisdom based books.
Yeah.
Which is the stoic wisdom. The obstacle is the way I recommend for people all the time. It's like a bit of a history lesson.
Yeah.
But it's that basically like the obstacle, leaning into the obstacle, that is always that's the biggest growth factors on the other side of that obstacle. You got to push through that obstacle. That's where you grow. You don't really grow from the successes, actually. You grow from the challenges and the adversities.
And I think the ability to appreciate the challenges and the adversity. You
Yeah.
know, in the beginning, it's very easy to just go, and I'm sure when you were 16, you're like, this is bullshit. Why is this happening to me? But I could already see in your response to that question, you have a sense of gratitude for it occurring.
Yeah.
Because without essentially going through the most devastating thing that you think could happen as a teenager, you don't realize that actually you're fine.
Yes.
And so now you're not as scared to die on the next thing that is so daunting so as to keep you from actually taking the leap.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And there was a key book for me too, which was Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. That book gets thrown out a lot, but there was something in it that sort of stuck with me. And I read that when I was like 15 or 16. Within every obstacle lies a seed of a greater benefit, but you have to be willing to look at that. That's basically being grateful, finding the silver lining in the challenge or the obstacle.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to, and it's only through repetition that you start to. So now when I get up against a difficult thing, because I've been through so many difficult things, I now am able to, most of the time, not all the time, because I'm still human, but I'm most of the time able to just smile and be like, yeah, when I logged in, I chose hard.
Yes.
You know, and I'm grateful for this because it's not boring.
Yeah.
And this is not a problem. Well, it is a problem, but it's a problem the way that in math we call math a problem.
Yes.
It is a puzzle to be
a
solved. It
puzzle
is a
to be
challenge
solved.
to be overcome.
Yeah.
And if you gamify your adversities and your problems, then they become fun.
Yes.
As opposed, because like
Break
if
it down and figure it out.
nobody would play a video game that they never get hit and they never lose, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
that would be boring.
that would be boring.
But if
Any great movie, the character, what's interesting?
Yeah.
The character's challenges. Like If you don't have that, it's not interesting. And it's also not at the end of the win, like it doesn't mean as much. I love the idea of gamify, like you said. I'm big on mental reframes, and that's when I use a lot. When I look at any obstacles, like a new puzzle to solve.
Yeah, like
It's
how am I going to get through this? Let's
Gamifying
figure
it.
out.
It makes it a fun game. It's a total reframe and a perspective shift that if you train yourself to look at it that way, it changes the experience of it.
And perspective is all that there kind of is, because you can. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine recently about like being stressed about a thing we were doing together, and I was like, I'm not stressed about it, and he was like, but it's really stressful, and I go, why is it stressful for you and not for me? And we talked about it, and
Perspective.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm excited. It's like I'm excited too, but there's no but. If you're excited, it's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be rewarding. It's supposed to be fun, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And
yes.
but that's just like I've been stressed out about things for a very long time, and then I went, yeah, I'm going to do it anyways. So how do I not get stressed out about this?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
And the challenge is what it's all about at the end of the day. You know, like if you don't have that challenge, what is there?
Yeah, totally.
Like you need that challenge, you know?
Because you guys are entrepreneurs, you guys have experienced adversity, but also success. And it's disappointment, disappointment, disappointment. And then boom, it happens, which can sometimes seem like overnight, but to the outside world that doesn't see all the adversity leading up to it, right?
Yeah.
On almost every case. But I do think like there's a great reframe for that too, which is like if you're trying to build something, you're trying to do something, great and win at something or create success. It's like luck will always find the average again. No one has bad luck forever. So if you've had a series of disappointments, you're that close now. The universe owes me one now.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
3 inches from gold now.
Just hang on tight.
Yep.
Just
keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in poker, it's called variance.
Okay.
And so when you're playing poker, it doesn't matter if you're a 99% favorite to win the hand. You might lose.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're 99% favorite to win the hand. You might lose 6 times in a row because that's variance.
Yes.
The thing is, if you quit now,
You're guaranteed to lose.
correct. But if you never quit and you only take the 99% bets, even if you lose 100 in a row, which is very, very unlikely,
Uncommon.
but then you're due and mathematically due.
Yes.
Like actually due for 1,000 wins in a row.
It's the same thing in life.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. And I think when people get that, that's the perspective shift that allows people to keep pushing and not giving up. Right. And that is such a great, I didn't realize there was kind of a poker element to that, but that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
But I mean, I think you can find it anywhere.
yeah.
You can find it in skateboarding, right? We talk about this all the time. Like the whole point of skateboarding is trying it over and over and over and over and falling and falling.
Yeah, I always say like 90% of it is you're just falling and you're doing micro adjustments until you get it right, and then eventually you land it, and then
Yeah.
you land it again. You land it again. You figure out like, all right, I have to put my foot like this. I have to lean my body this way, and then then it just starts working, and then it's just like consistency, just practice, 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 and it gets better and better.
I love that perspective.
Yeah, and I always say like every parent, every person should try to do skateboarding at least once in their life, just because it's like it teaches you a resilience for other things in life that like starting a business, just like being able to fail a shit ton of times over and over and over, and to like stand up, dust your pants off, dust your shoulders off, and just try it again and until you can get it,
Sports is like that. Business is like the poker's like that. There's all these common threads. I love this idea because I'm from the world of acting too. This idea of like mistakes. If you watch an Oscar-winning movie, how many takes did it get for that actor to get the Oscar-winning take? So the mistakes, the mistakes are so important in the process to leading up to that win. So yeah, I like this reframe on the word fail. FAIL stands for a faithful attempt in learning.
Yeah.
And if you just look at that, it's just a learning process. All the mistakes are so important. As an entrepreneur, I think there was, for me to pivot out of entertainment, which is what I've done recently, and gone, just all in on being an entrepreneur. trying to pursue entertainment was a great training ground for that, because it's rejection, rejection,
For
rejection.
sure.
You go on 100 auditions, maybe
Yeah.
you book one of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's a great training ground for being an entrepreneur, because it's very similar in that regard.
So when did you get out of Reading? Was it when you took that first trip?
Yeah, basically, Making the Band was the first reality TV show picked up on a major network. So major networks, which sounds crazy now because reality TV is everywhere, but it was like right before Survivor, and there was no music competition show like this. It was the precursor for shows like American Idol and The Voice and everything you see now. I was 18. I basically moved away right after I turned 18 and never went back home. And that launched a whole series of, awesome success, which was being like, it was like shot out of a rocket for me, because, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were already these huge juggernaut boy bands.
Yeah.
But we had a TV show, and we were expected to be as good as them in a couple weeks in front of the world, which was like a crazy amount of intense, like military style boot camp, but for being in a boy band, where you're up at the crack of dawn, you're running for an hour, and now you're in dance rehearsals and vocal rehearsals, and everybody's watching it on this TV show. And a lot of people thought it would fail. Actually, they weren't sure it would work. We didn't have a record deal by the time the TV show even came out. People were like, a lot of people were like, maybe this will just be a fun show to watch, and they won't actually have a successful song. But we ended up having a hit album. We ended up having a #1 song on the radio.
Let's
We
go.
selling millions of albums.
Amazing.
Damn.
It was amazing. But then, again, the adversity, the boy band bubble bursts. Music, as it does, the trends change so quickly.
Yeah.
Especially in America, boy bands come and go. Like, it'll be cool for a couple years, and then it's so not cool. And then, again, when music changed kind of in the mid 2000s, like we had signed with Clive Davis, who was, which was an amazing win for us too, because he's like such a music mogul and such a legend in the music industry. But after 2 albums, the trend was that boy bands were kind of trending out. And so
Yeah.
we got dropped.
Okay.
We got dropped from our record label after 3 seasons of a hit TV show as well. So then the question is like, what do you do next? Because now you've had this success, you've had #1 songs, you've done all these things, but like, what do you do now?
And it came kind of out of nowhere too, right? Because it was just like a snap of the fingers. It's like, all right, like we're gonna take you on, like we're gonna start this thing. Here we go, and then that's how you made most of your money at that point.
Yeah,
I'm
which
assuming.
wasn't a lot.
No.
No, because we signed a terrible record deal. Our entertainment lawyer looked at our deal and was like, "This is the worst record deal I've ever seen on my desk. I've done this for 30
And then he
years."
said, "Let's do it."
"You either do it or you don't." And you're
Yeah.
like an 18-year-old kid from a small town, so like, do you take the opportunity or not?
Yeah. Do I take $0 and no TV, or do I take a couple dollars and TV, and hopefully it's a springboard and
And a couple dollars is better than no dollars.
Then no dollars.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then working as a riding my bike between 2 part-time jobs.
Because I also have to
Yeah.
imagine when you're doing that, it's not. I mean, you're auditioning for a show. The show becomes, to make the band, but it's not like you have a lot of bargaining power and negotiating power on your side to be like, no. If you want me to be in this band, you got to actually pay me fairly. They're like, oh, cool. There's a 1,000 more yous.
Yeah.
So I'll just take a different you who will just shut the fuck up and do it. And so you kind of are stuck between, well, I'm disowned from the church.
Yes.
Do I go back to that, or do I go on and So I mean, even though it's a terrible deal, it's probably the right thing to
Yeah,
do.
you
right?
have no choice.
If you look at if you kind of weigh the options,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes sense to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we're being told. Yeah. By the way, there's tens of thousands of guys behind
Which
you
is true.
that'll take your spot.
It is true, and they do that in skateboarding too.
Really?
Like that happens all the time.
Yeah, because how many people want that,
And
want that
there's so much
endorsement, that
talent out there.
sponsorship, and want that deal.
Yeah, and like there's so many people that are insanely talented, that should be in really high positions that aren't. So it's just like,
And you're also aware of that.
Yeah,
Of how many
everyone
people are
is.
waiting in line behind you
Yep.
for an opportunity and like you said, you hope it's a springboard. You hope
Yeah.
it's a stepping stone. So I actually moved from, we lived in Orlando, which is why we were called O-Town. I moved back to LA. I was like, I don't know what to do next, but I'm just going to start songwriting and maybe go on some auditions and things. And ended up getting my own record deal again on my own
Damn.
without a TV
Let's
show,
go.
which was awesome.
yeah,
And it came to the attention of MTV because I'd been in that world. And this is at the time that the Newlyweds was on and the Osbournes were on. So reality TV had really become this
yeah.
thing. And they were like, we were always the TV version of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Justin Timberlake had gone solo from NSYNC.
Yep.
I was engaged. I found out I was going to be a dad. At the same time, I'm launching a solo album, and MTV was like, this is a TV show. Like, you can be, again, the TV version of a guy from a boy band trying to make it again while you become
A dad.
and
Yeah.
juggling what that is. Like, that would be a great TV show. And I was really hesitant to do it because I wasn't sure I wanted to do reality TV again.
Yeah.
But there was an executive at MTV that was like, how many artists have had a whole TV show dedicated to a launch of a solo career?
Yeah.
You know, so again, you weigh the options. I did it. It was awesome. I got a chance to really, I think, show more of my songwriting and playing guitar and being a musician and all that, which is hard when you're in a boy band because boy bands get pegged, and we were the most manufactured boy band in the world. So trying to be like taken seriously out of that was like, I think, something important for me. I did a way different style of music. I worked with a guy named Max Martin, who is like,
Yeah. Legendary.
legendary. Like in terms of hit songs, it's like John Lennon, Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Didn't he write like the most?
Max
or something
Martin.
like that? Yeah.
He's like right behind the
Damn.
Beatles.
Yeah.
And to this day is the biggest hit songwriter in the world.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, and I got to work with him. That was amazing. But again, the challenge of being in the music industry, like I was on a label. I realized I didn't have any creative control. Like I'd signed Control away again. I didn't get to choose what the singles were. I didn't get control over imaging and marketing and all these things. And there was like a huge disconnect because my record label hated the show that MTV did. They did not like the storylines. They did not like the marketing behind it. And they didn't, it was a huge disconnection between what they thought the vision of the show was going to be. And so then after one album and another hit song, which was called Let You Go, they were like, we're not going to pick up your option for a second album. So then I get dropped again from a record label.
How was filming all that with a little one? Because we both have little
Yeah.
ones, and I know those first few months are they're tough months. you
Yeah,
know?
we filmed the show through like her pregnancy,
Okay.
and actually through the birth of it. So my son, Lyric, it's my tattoo on my arm. He was actually the first child ever born on like a reality TV show. They were in the delivery room.
No way.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
It was so much because they were living in our house 24/7, filming
Wow.
her through the pregnancy. You know, I'm traveling out to do shows and flying back again, and
Hectic.
I wasn't sleeping at all. It was so hectic, and it honestly made for great TV too.
Do,
so.
do they like fully record you like 24/7 basically?
Yeah, they like install cameras in your house. There's like security cameras everywhere. They want everything.
And just a dude following you with a big old camera too. and-
Yeah, they were actually set up down in the basement of this house that I was in. And so it was like you wake up in the middle of the night and like a guy with a boom microphone comes in. You know, it's like, yeah, it was intense. And I'd kind of known what that world was, but it was actually so different. When you're in a boy band, you can share parts between 5 guys.
Yeah.
So you have like a certain like level of shared responsibility, but then when you're the front man of, you know, you're the solo guy, it's all on your shoulders, you know. And plus the TV show was now just kind of all on my shoulders. So there was a huge pressure to try to make it a hit TV show and a hit album.
Yeah.
And it was the number
bet.
1 rated show on MTV at the time.
Damn.
And I got
Let's
another
go.
number 1 music video back when TRL was a thing. I miss those days. That was awesome.
Back when there was any music videos.
Resident any music video. Yeah, it's too bad. There's not really music videos anymore. There are, but it's not the same shared experience of like watching it on MTV the way we used to.
How's the wife through all of that?
I give her a lot of credit.
Yeah.
A lot of credit for being willing to be on camera through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was, you know, she was a trooper to do all that and to have them in the delivery room and
For sure.
I don't know if
epic.
I don't know if we would have done that.
No, I don't think that
it's
would
a lot to
happen.
sign up for.
Yeah.
It's a lot to sign up for.
What was your experience with reality TV? Because I don't know if I dabbled in it, but I kind of was involved in it. I was
were
on
in Top
I was
Chef.
on Top Chef,
Yeah.
yeah, which is it's Bravo, which basically
Right.
makes it reality TV.
Sure.
How much did you feel like they told your story accurately? Like, I know for me, I've been on plenty of shows where I go to watch it and I'm with my friends like, oh, check this out. I'm about to win. oh, I guess I didn't win.
Yeah.
I guess I misremember what happened when we filmed that.
Because the editing.
Oh, I don't remember
changed-
saying that.
Yes. Oh my God.
Holy
yes.
shit!
editing.
That's crazy.
You get it because they change so much of this in the editing.
Yeah.
That your experience of it is not what you end up watching back.
At
It's all
all.
out of order.
Yeah.
They turn you into a character. You can have one bad moment,
Yeah.
and that ends up being the whole episode.
So for me,
Yeah.
I became the villain of my season.
God,
I was
just
the
gonna
guy.
ask you that.
I was the pessimist. I was the angry pessimist who just talked shit and name dropped.
Oh,
And I'm like, that couldn't be further from who I am.
I have to go back and watch this.
Oh my god.
I was just on YouTube.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sure.
have to
Oh,
watch that
I
too,
don't know. I
man.
mean, there's literally in the edit. There's like I'm cooking to like do 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 like
man.
over me.
That's intense.
But now and that was hard to deal with because I had a restaurant and I went on that show to try to
bring attention. to
bring
what you're doing.
attention,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, oh, I'm way more hated or way more
Yeah.
like people don't take me seriously because of what I looked like on that show. So like the biggest compliment I guess I could get was like, wow, you're actually not like what they made you look like on that show. Your food's actually good.
Right.
Like you're not an asshole. I'm like, yeah, I wish the whole world didn't think that, but they do. And
The power of reality TV.
but I can't imagine the trauma that I faced from that. I can't imagine if somebody did that with my fucking kid
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
wife. I mean, do you feel like they did that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah, I feel like through making the band,
like,
I
I'm getting angry just thinking
I
about
know.
it.
I
For
get
sure.
it. I get. I will because I would say bigger picture. I would never do reality TV ever again
Yeah.
unless I was the executive
Yeah.
producer. Because they have an agenda,
Yeah.
and they want to tell a story, and they can take these little slices of your life, like you said,
Yeah.
and they can cut it up, and they can turn you into a character. So to answer your question, yeah, like you watch it back, and you're like, wait, that's not. And then there's a lot of soft scripting that started to happen. So like super grateful for the opportunity, but with the solo spinoff I did called There and Back, there was way more like, okay, we want you to have a conversation about this, and here's the storyline.
Yeah.
And
Like
we
scripted
We need
kinda
you to kind of
stuff.
talk about this on camera, and now you're kind of like doing this weird improv version
Yeah.
of your
Yeah.
life. So it's like that felt like it did start becoming like, okay, there's a lot of scripting. There's a lot of
Yeah.
scripting going on to this.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a lot of them, they just want it to get, more clicks, more views, more like.
Oh, yeah.
If we turn this dude into the villain, like he's gonna be hated, but it's gonna bring the value of the show up or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I never understood it though, because like there's so much real drama in life.
Yeah.
Just fucking film it.
I
Put it
know.
on TV and people will like it.
I know.
Like, because it's not like you're fabricating more intense drama than actually occurred.
Right.
You're just not showing the drama.
Right.
And then you're fabricating drama.
Yes.
So like the entirety, like I remember after, like right when I got home, or right after it aired, there was the show. What was it called? It was the reality show. Oh, I can't remember what it was called.
What was it about?
It was basically a show that followed the production of a reality show.
Oh,
and the
with
producer,
the actress?
yeah,
Yeah,
and like the producers are like they're plotting behind the scenes and trying to get this
Yes.
person to fight with that person.
It's
and
a girl from Friends, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I now I need to
Maybe
like.
you guys can pull it up. What's
pull
it
it
called?
up.
Reality show about a Unreal. Is that it? When did this come out?
Was this scripted or actual reality TV?
No, it was a scripted show
Yeah.
about
Yes.
making The Bachelor or something like that.
Yeah, it's. Was
it called Unreal?
It's the actress that plays Phoebe on Friends, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So this came. So
Oh, not the one I'm thinking of.
yeah, so this came out like, and I got home from the 6 weeks of filming, and my wife's watching this, and I'm like, I can't fucking watch this.
Just like PTSD, flashbacks. Yeah. It was. Yeah, they really wanted to tell the story of me being down and out. So they're like, after, okay, you're the guy that got dropped from the record label. O-Town's not a thing anymore, so you really need to be struggling. And I was also going out for actual like acting auditions too, and I got a huge role opposite Channing Tatum in this movie. And MTV was like, if you take that role, we're not picking up your TV show.
No,
That's the dumbest thing ever.
I know. And my agent hated me for it. He's like, you have to do both, because what
Yeah.
if the TV show doesn't work?
But also,
yeah.
that's so good for the TV show.
I know. I know.
It's so some of these people, some of these executives out there, they make the weirdest decisions.
Right. And to this day, I'm like, damn, I should have taken that
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Like the producer of the Matrix films called me and was like, we can't cast this role. You're perfect for it. Just come up to Canada for a couple weeks. Like we will, you know, this would be so great for your career. And I was like, my agent's telling me to do it. My manager's like, don't do it because he's invested in, he's a producer on the reality show, right? So he
Yeah.
wants that to be
Yeah.
picked up. So there was a lot of like trying to make it like I'm so down and out and I'm so hungry for the music success, but at the same time, there
See,
were
all they
these
had to do was film that.
right.
You know what I mean? Like-
That's a better story.
Just film it because that's a hard situation. How do I
Yes.
do it? The conversations you have to have with your wife while
Yes.
she's pregnant about do I do this? Do I do that? Yeah.
That's
fork
the
in the road,
Yes, and
you
I
know?
had to turn down another role. Actually, I had to turn down the lead in a skateboarding movie.
No way.
Called The Grind.
Okay.
Paramount Pictures. It was like had Bam Margera in it. It was all about skateboarding. I
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
lead in that. I had to turn on that. My agent was like, "Okay, you're turning down major Hollywood movies to do this like reality show. Like, I hope this works for you."
Yeah.
And in the end, actually, it didn't lead to any more seasons of that show, and I got dropped from my record label. And so it's like, damn, it's really hard to sometimes navigate those decisions. We have so many people in your ear telling you, you know, what to do. It was. I learned a lot from that, and the version that I just told is a much better storyline for the show.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, but the fact that you learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, getting back to sort of this mindset, I think it's so easy to just blame, and that's the end of it. I blame these people. They fucked it up. I could have
Yeah.
been a star. I could have done this. I would have been, could have been. Or you go, all right, I'm going to make a micro adjustment. The next time I'm going to roll up to these stairs, I'm going to move my foot this much this
Yep.
way.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to try it again this way. Because I think that's the whole point of life is just like try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, succeed. Try, fail, try, fail, try.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
And, you know, unlike poker where you can get in a situation where you're 99% and still lose, you never get into a 99% in real life.
Yeah.
You know,
that makes perfect sense.
So there's the variance, and it's who can stomach the losses and who can learn from the losses that I think can get the wins.
Exactly. And every day someone throws in the towel, unfortunately, and quits.
Yeah.
Your competition out there is quitting right and left. You know, if you stick with that. And so then that was like, yeah, that was also, so now I'm a dad. I lost my second record deal. What do I do now? And I happened to make friends with a casting director in the Broadway world. And he was like, you know, you're kind of the perfect fit for Broadway shows. Would you come audition for this Hairspray the musical? You know, maybe move to New York and do some stuff. And like, usually Broadway contracts are 12 weeks. And I was very fortunate that I rolled right from that situation into a Broadway show, which was a leading role, Link Larkin, Hairspray the musical, 3-month contract, ended up turning into almost 2 years
wow.
Damn.
of being on Broadway. And I was able to get like kind of like a superstar Broadway deal.
Sick.
Because
dude.
I had all this going for me in music industry success. And so I got way above the average sort of Broadway deal. And it was
Yeah.
great money. And it was
Rad.
like, I rolled right into that and pivoted. So I think pivoting is also a big part of what you guys talk about.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think also like, yeah, it's like you never know what's gonna come your way. So being able to just continue to push, and like never give up, really, as cliche as it sounds, but because you did the music thing with O-Town and stuff, and then you did your reality show, and then you were able to, because you're in that networking zone, you're able to network and meet the person from Broadway as well, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like the more stuff you can apply yourself to, and then the harder you push and put yourself out there,
Yes.
like the opportunities will eventually kind of come your way. You know?
Absolutely. And you can also, with those opportunities, expect more adversity to come.
Yeah.
You just
Yep.
be, and now you're kind of ready for it. So like at the end of that, you know, I had moved to New York. My fiance didn't want to come. She didn't want to raise our child in New York. It was going to be 3 months and it turned in 2 years. Like our relationship fell apart. I was just like 8 shows a week for 2 years. Like I was like really lonely. I'm looking around me like a
You're
lot
just
of
by yourself.
I was
out
by
there.
myself out there. I didn't have any family.
Oh,
and
man.
you know, a lot of the people that I was surrounded by were also like, because Broadway is really hard. So people are like, you know, there's a lot of people with unhealthy coping mechanisms in entertainment.
That's a very PC way of putting it.
Yes, like a lot of it
Self-medication.
Self-medication times 10. And that was happening around me. Also with other people I knew that were either famous when they were young, and now they're in that spot where they're not famous anymore. They're like a child star. Like, because I was a teenager. And like I was navigating fame, at least having like a normal childhood. But I think becoming famous, even
Normal childhood?
to quote, air quotes around normal. But like becoming famous at any age can be a total mind fuck. And like now there was this pressure of like, I've leapfrogged from all these things, but now I'm at the end of my Broadway contract. What do I do now?
Yeah.
And my relationship was ending, and that was very, I was honestly like, so sad about that. And
painful.
Like really didn't have like, I'm not signed to a record label anymore. I don't think I'm going to do music anymore. Like I had this end of this contract. And so like, I was also surrounded by people that were just fueling, I would say, coping with the ups and downs of entertainment with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate that even throughout O-Town and being on Broadway, like I had to take care of myself and be in tip top shape. And so like I leaned into fitness. I leaned into health and wellness.
Yeah.
I didn't want to join the 27 club.
Yeah.
So many young performers. I was friends with people that were dying young.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to lean fully into other healthy ways to navigate the stress of all of this. And so, and also fortunate that I worked with some of the best people in fitness and nutrition and peak performance coaches and stuff. And you have to take care of yourself to be a guy that's doing 8 shows a week. And so
for sure.
I leaned so hard into fitness as a way to help what was going on in mental health and to take care of my physical health and to, because when you're living in New York too, there's like a bar on every block.
Yeah.
And they're open till like 5 a.m.
And they're open till
right?
5 in the morning, right? And frequently people go out after the show because when you're a nighttime performer, you get done
You can't go home and go straight to sleep.
No, you're in such an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And you're done at midnight. Like you can't go to bed.
Did you ever like dabble to the point where, or at all, where you like had a realization moment where you're like, fuck it, I can't do this. My body will fall apart. I need to start to,
Yeah, absolutely. I did. And I was definitely in that culture of like drinking and, again, it's a little bit different when you're 18 versus even being mid 20s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't even talk about being in your 30s and 40s, right? But I don't know how I did it because sometimes I would do a matinee and I would have been out all night long. And I was like realizing too that like, okay, I need to really shift gears here. And I was also someone that just really loved health. I loved health and wellness from a young age. I'd already been a part of a vitamin company when I was young, and I knew the power of supplementation. And
You're
so
hustling them supplements
yeah,
as a kid.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
So I really leaned into that, and I'm grateful that I did because even after that time, like I've lost friends in the industry that have passed away because they fell into drugs or alcohol, and I think, again, if you look at the most famous people, Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, God, I love Britney so much. I mean, we opened Madison Square Gardens on tour with Britney. Like, look, the people that become the most famous always end up having these, so many issues. It's not normal to be that famous.
I wonder if that's educationally based at all, because like there was no one, like now with the internet and everything, you can very clearly watch someone's like downfall.
Yes.
You're like someone that you look up to.
Yep.
But like, who would Elvis have had to look at to be like, you shouldn't act this way?
Right.
There wasn't necessarily the medical studies or the cult, and there was nobody who had ever been that famous before.
No, it was uncharted.
Yeah. So I feel like hopefully, this generation, the next generation can look back and be like, oh, you mentioned the 27 Club. I mean, fucking Kurt Cobain. I mean, just go down the list of who didn't make it and be like,
Janis Joplin.
But there was no 27
Jim
Club
Morrison.
before, before Elvis or Michael Jackson or whoever to like. So like, it is very easy to be like, oh, someone's like, here's a drug. This will help you for the night.
Yes.
No different than my
and it might be a doctor.
and no different than my espresso. My first espresso, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you just start doing it too much.
Yeah.
But now there's enough information you can go and get and go, oh, this does this, or this is not good, and I need to,
You're starting to see our younger artists are taking like a mental health break
Yeah.
because they're realizing being on tour for 5 years straight might not actually be good for you. Might not be good for you. And you're right. There's a lot more education behind how to take care of yourself now and not go down that path. Which was why after Wicked, after I ended up doing Hairspray, but then I did Wicked, which was amazing. Another 2 years of my life. I wanted to pivot into health and wellness because I honestly feel like fitness saved my life.
Yeah.
I really mean that.
Sick, dude.
I really feel like fitness saved my life. And
No, I was gonna say I feel like a lot of people don't understand how beneficial fitness actually is. Not only like the physical aesthetics that like is mainstream, right? Fitness for aesthetics, but like the mental side of it.
100%.
It's like so beneficial mentally for you, your attitude, positivity, just everything, how you feel during the day, everything.
Exercise is therapy.
Yeah.
I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but for people that do it, they get it. They wanted to do a study recently on what would the effects on the brain be for someone that was a regular like exercise enthusiast if they just quit. If they just quit exercising, how would the brain respond? They couldn't find people to do the study. Nobody wanted to quit. They had to keep upping the amount of money they would pay people to quit their exercise. Like I do it because I feel so damn good. That's the win right away. You get a 12-hour mood boost after each exercise session.
Yeah.
It's like there was a famous coach out there. I can't remember who it was. Said like, every time you exercise, it's like your brain takes a little Adderall. It's like your brain took a little Prozac or whatever. But you're making natural dopamine, natural serotonin. I got really dialed in. But even with that, like I was eating nutritiously. I was going to do fitness all the time. I went and got blood work done. Do you guys do blood work?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ways to Well?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's what we do with.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
every
yeah.
90 days I've lost 40 pounds.
Oh, dude, congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
crushed
In
it.
3 years. And like, there's one more thing I want to add to like, it's the aesthetics. It is the mental. Because as someone who's new to working, I was a punk rocker. I played in bands.
Sweet.
Jocks work out.
Yeah.
We don't work out.
Right.
We drink beer and we fight.
Yeah.
But I started working out because Ways to Well told me it's for my actual my actual wellness. Like
Okay.
I was like, because I was a drummer, and so like I had so many.
That's really active.
Yeah. So I had very, like, my entire first 20-something years of my life, between skateboarding, drumming, I had natural muscles. I never worked out, but like I was always very, very fit. As you get older, your muscles start to deteriorate.
Yep.
If you're not lifting weights, because I was like, well, I'm running. They're like, yeah, but that's raising your estrogen and lowering your testosterone.
Right.
You have to be doing resistance training.
Yep.
And as soon as I started doing resistance training, I no longer became pre-diabetic.
Yes.
My testosterone started naturally rising. My cholesterol started dropping.
Yeah.
And I actually, it's because I drink. I don't like now that I have muscles, I don't get hungover the way that I did before.
Yeah.
And I don't get drunk the way that I did before.
Yeah.
And I do think that your fat metabolizes alcohol different than muscle
Totally.
metabolizes alcohol. So I think there's like a, for some people, and it definitely, it makes you feel better,
Yes.
right? Mentally. I definitely feel like I look better because I don't have a giant belly anymore, and
Yeah.
my shirts fit a little bit better.
Yeah. That's confidence right there.
Right.
But I also have kind of done what you said they can't pay people to do, which is because of my schedule, I'll work out 7 days a week for like 3 months, and then I will not for like 2 months because I'm on the road
Right.
or I just can't. And I don't have the normalized schedule that allows for me to prioritize, because sometimes I have to wake up in the morning and I do not have time to eat until 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's
Okay.
kind of normal for my schedule, and try putting working out into that.
Yeah,
you
it's tough.
You can't. So, but I notice I'll start to be like, why am I depressed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you don't.
Why do
work
I
out.
feel off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't I quite feel like myself
But not even
anymore?
just off. Like I'll literally be like, I'm in a bout of depression.
Yeah.
And then I'll
got
realize,
that
oh
dopamine
wait,
blast.
I haven't worked out.
Yes.
And then I'll start working out, and a day later, 2 days later, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Completely agree. I love it so damn much, and that was why like my last pivot has been into business as like you guys, like becoming an entrepreneur in health and wellness. And so my story behind that is obviously fueled by 20 years of also just like learning so much. But then like, okay, what do you do when you kind of reach the mountaintop of like this industry? What do you do next? Like I wanted to give it back to people, so I started an online health and wellness community. And along that, like I started doing blood work, all the things you're talking about, but my cholesterol was really high. My blood pressure was super high. And I was eating like what I thought was a perfect diet. And so like I started looking into doctors, and one thing led to the next. I actually reached out to this guy who's a world-renowned cardiologist named Dr. David Ryzik, and he became my doctor. And he was like, you're not taking certain things that are backed by 30 years of research. Because I was taking supplements, but I wasn't taking the right kind of supplements in the right kind of dosages. And he even told me, he's like, most supplements don't work. Like, there's only a handful of them that actually do.
That are actually proven.
Proven to work, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to heart health, which affects everything, he was like, you need to be taking like this dosage of omega-3s, this dosage of CoQ10. You want to combine it with vitamin E, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why don't you have this product? And he was like, well, you know, he's not a TV doctor.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's like in surgery all the time, saving people's lives.
Yeah.
He's won 3 Emmys, which is,
Damn.
he's a scientist. He's like reinventing how procedures are being done. And I was like, you know, I have a supplement company that I'd recently started. I was like, I'd like to develop a product with you.
Oh, wow.
And so we developed a product together called Heart, Body, and Mind.
Okay.
Which is that combination of,
I want to take this.
Yeah,
I brought some.
We'll have to get some.
I
for
brought
sure.
some for you.
Because I've got
No
a cocktail.
way.
I take 13 different things every single morning.
Oh, me too. I'm like a supplement nerd.
Yeah.
But this combines the things. Like I find a lot of people don't take CoQ10.
The main thing.
Yeah, like there's all these new supplements like methylene blue, like this, that.
Yeah.
Like CoQ10 is, you know, decades of research behind it that it recharges your mitochondrial health.
Okay.
It's like one of the best things you can take for energy. The
Yeah.
problem with most omega-3 supplements are that they go rancid. Have you seen this on like social media?
No.
Most omega-3s go rancid because they're in a clear capsule, and you see.
Is that why mine are like kind of sticking together?
Yeah, do they smell? Do yours
No,
smell?
they don't smell.
Okay.
But I travel, like I have a backpack full of things, but like I feel like it's gotten warm, cold, and like
And they're just clumped.
Yeah, and I have to like shake the bottle to like get them to like
Yes,
separate.
supposedly most of the brands are actually rancid.
Yes.
Like when they test it and stuff.
Yeah.
There are actually a lot of them that are rancid.
And I was
What do we got here? Oh, is this?
Yeah, this is it actually.
oh shit.
Oh hell yeah!
This is it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I launched this company called High Level Science, and I brought you guys two products actually that we launched.
sick.
The first is Heart, Body, and Mind,
Dude, hell yeah!
and we got really deep into the science behind this stuff. Like, so the manufacturing is so important because the preservatives and fillers and artificial dyes and colors that they put in most supplements are toxic for you. So you take a supplement and then you read the ingredients and it's got all this like garbage in it, right?
Yeah.
And so we created a omega-3 CoQ10 vitamin E product that is not just great for your heart, but for your entire body. So like it is literally going to enhance your mental clarity, your energy, your sleep at night. Everybody can benefit from taking this one. And it looks different, so don't be
This is dope.
Yeah, that's actually, I'll talk about that one in a second. I'm super excited about that one, but this is made.
He's excited about this. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. This is actually, don't be surprised. It's like a dark capsule, but it's made in a casing from natural earth minerals.
Do you need to have like just eaten, or can you eat it take it on empty stomach?
You can take it on empty stomach. You can take it with food. Either way is fine. But it's made in a rare earth mineral capsule so that it shields it from the light.
Okay.
So that it doesn't go rancid.
Okay.
And plus the way we source the omega-3s
Yeah.
are from juvenile
Bottoms
macro.
up, boys.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Give me mine. Let me take it. I got really deep into the science because Dr. Ryzik is like such a genius about all this stuff. We source so it's fish oil, but we source it from juvenile mackerel,
Okay.
sardine and anchovy, and we harvest it before they've had a long lifespan.
So you're not getting any mercury.
Yeah, so there's no time to
Sick.
absorb the environmental toxins. So it's like the purest, cleanest ingredients. It's like leading edge, the most scientifically advanced omega-3 CoQ10 vitamin E on the market. And we launched it from the business perspective. within a year, this took off like a rocket ship, and we just
That's so dope.
we
dude.
just are sealing a deal with one of the biggest national retailers in the country. And it has been so fun as an entrepreneur to see this grow. And then,
Oh wow, that's wild.
and then the other
How
issue,
black it is. It's like hard and black.
yeah,
It's crazy. I like that.
It's just natural minerals,
Right.
natural minerals. But this one's also, I think, you talked about testosterone. Low testosterone is a really big deal for guys.
Right
like
now.
they do,
I was
Yeah.
I was they could not it was non-detectable in my blood, my testosterone.
Really?
I had undetectable levels of free testosterone.
wow,
I now have 1,200 without shooting up.
dude, amazing.
And
That's amazing. Yeah, without shooting up, because
yeah,
a lot of
you
people
could just shoot up and get to fucking 3,000.
But that causes all kinds of problems too. Like, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
it's a house of cards, because you play with one hormone and now the others are off, and you got to take all these other things.
Well, so
and-
the reason I'm so excited about this is I have this like irrational fear of a heart attack. It's a thing, and
Me
I think
too.
it's from, eating the gravy and my grandma being like, "Don't eat too much, you'll have a heart attack."
Yeah.
Right. And when I found out,
does it run in your family?
No.
Okay,
Still, you hear that enough times. Hey, don't eat the skin. You're gonna get a heart attack.
right.
And then I find out that my wife is pregnant, and it's like, all right, I should go to the doctor and get checked up. I haven't been to the doctor, and I don't take Tylenol. Like I don't do doctors. I don't do any of that stuff.
You go natural.
I completely. If you're sick, you get matzo ball soup.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I go to the doctor, I get my blood done, and my LDL is like 115 or something like that.
Okay.
Which is very, very high.
Yeah.
And
That is high.
no, wait, 115 or 215?
215.
215.
probably,
Yeah, sorry. It was 215, which is very high. And I'm joking one night. We have a restaurant in Chicago, NADC, and then in the basement is Sushi by Scratch Restaurants. And I'm working a service, and I do a dish there that is like, I don't remember if it was like foie gras or bone marrow, or it was something like super decadent and fatty. And I make a joke about like, someone goes, don't eat too much. And I go, well, I mean, you can only have so much or you'll have high cholesterol like me. And one of the ladies who's sitting there, she's like, I'm a cardiologist. What's your cholesterol? And I go, 212 or whatever it was.
Whoa.
And she goes, you need to start statins tomorrow. She's like,
Yes.
I've been a cardiologist for 20 years. You have to. You're blah, blah. And I start freaking out.
Yeah.
And now I've got wild anxiety. However, I go to get what's called a rapid heart scan. It's basically like
Like an EKG kind?
no, it's what's it like a CAT scan kind of.
Okay.
A CT scan of your heart.
Okay.
And they're checking for blockage.
Okay.
All those
The arteries and all
They're
that.
checking your arteries. They're checking for blockage. They're checking for buildup of calcium. All those things. And with being at 212, they were expecting I'm like you need to get on it now. I scored a 0 out of 400. So 0, 0, 0, 0. Like I did not have. It's as healthy as you can be. And I then meet Ways to Well, and they're like, your cholesterol's high because you don't have testosterone. Your testosterone's low because you don't have this.
Okay.
You don't have this because you don't have that.
Right.
So
It's a cascade effect.
yes,
Yep.
and they're like this. You can treat the symptom, which is you have high cholesterol, take statin,
Yes.
or you can go find the root cause,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to treat the symptom because there is no symptom.
It's so crazy you're saying this, because this is my story. I
Yeah.
was like hovering around 200
Yeah.
with my cholesterol. And, so the previous doctor I had said take statins before I met Dr. Reisig.
Okay.
But there's all these side effects to statins, right? Like unbelievable side effects. I wanted to do it in a natural way.
Yeah.
I started taking this. 3 months later, I got my blood work. All my numbers improved.
Yeah.
A huge part of our
Let's go.
marketing efforts are actually, if you take statins, CoQ10 alleviates the side effects of statins.
Interesting.
And there's estimated 92 million people on statin drugs.
It just-
Both my parents are on it. I
Yeah.
have them taking this now too.
Yeah.
So like if you're on statins, this is an even more important product to take. But
Yeah.
what you said about being scared of a heart attack, heart disease is the #1 global killer for
Yeah.
both men and women. Like we get scared of cancer. Actually, heart disease will probably be what gets you in the end.
And and I'm not telling anyone out there don't take statin.
Sure. Me neither. They have their purpose for sure.
100%. For me in my journey, I've now lowered my cholesterol significantly by eating more meat and
Yeah.
exercising
Okay.
and supplementing all the things to get my testosterone up.
Yeah.
I went from being,
Do you
know,
take CoQ10?
I don't know.
Okay, this would
probably.
be, this is so great.
I literally, I have 13 things I take it's just whatever Ways to Well tells me to take.
Okay.
I fucking pop it every morning.
Check.
Yeah, there's
check
a-
and see, because if you're not taking CoQ10 and you're
Yeah.
worried about heart health, that's like
a good one.
that's one I wasn't taking,
Okay.
and it has like
But I'm not really worried about heart health. I have anxiety about heart health.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, it's not that like, I mean, I've had my heart checked and I 0 out of 400. But if the score goes to 400, that means there's a fucking spectrum.
For sure.
Right. So I'm not close to a problem, but I still have anxiety about it. So
But it's good to have anxiety about
Yeah.
it, because a lot of the signs that we attribute to just aging are actually premature signs of heart disease. Like a lot of people are like, I'm tired, I'm kind of sluggish, I don't have energy. That's what I was feeling. It's actually premature signs of heart disease before it's become full blown.
well, you know what it also is? Plastics, toxins,
Absolutely.
molds,
It's also hormones too.
hormones not being calibrated.
Pharmaceuticals in the water that you're drinking.
So I through Ways to Well, I did a blood test, found out how much black mold is in me, a ton of it. I got
Okay.
a ton of molds. My BPAs,
So they do a bunch of different,
Yeah.
like they scan for different biomarkers,
my
molds,
plastics,
toxins, all
on
that
a
stuff.
scale of 0 to 4, my plastics were 19.5,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I'm down to 1.1.
Oh, that's great.
And in getting rid of all the molds in my body,
Okay.
and looking at all of like the symptoms that come along with all the toxins that I had, and all of the things that we, like you just said, that are attributed to heart disease, are also those are the side effects of all the different molds. That's the side effects of the plastics. They're
Yep.
the side effects of all those things.
Yep.
I wonder, because how many people are checking their plastic levels,
Not
and how many
very
people
many.
are spending 2 years, detoxing from the plastic, and then
Of
actually
course.
seeing the other side. So I wonder how much of what they say is a precursor to or a problem with your heart is actually either fully or partly from all the other environmental toxins you're taking in
Yeah.
that we don't really know enough about, and we don't that no one tells us about.
Yep.
So we go, oh, there's something wrong with your heart.
Right.
But I also think that's like an open, like it's not certain, right?
No, of
It
course
is a
not.
wonder, right? And it's like, are these things really affecting, or is it like kind of the things that are kind of known to affect, right? They could attribute to it, right? And that's can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or may. And then we definitely know hormones attribute to that.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely know that your LDL can attribute to that as well.
Yeah.
And there's like a couple different other signs that we definitely know attribute to that. And to fix those kind of borderline things first, right? And
Exactly.
get those right, and then kind of look into the other stuff.
Yeah.
And see how out of whack that stuff
It's
is as
hard
well,
because
you
there
know?
are so many toxins out
There's
there.
so
from
much
so
shit,
many
yeah.
places. And it's like, again, also, plumbers say one of the biggest issues in clogged drains is undigested vitamins.
Really?
So like sometimes it's why, again, I'm a nerd on supplements, which is why I started a supplement company. Like
Yeah.
I really believe in proper supplementation, which is, again, like we know there's a problem, like the cholesterol issues, but what you were saying about all these toxins for guys, I
Yeah.
think a lot of the low testosterone issues,
Plastic.
plastics, what
You can watch my plastics go down and my testosterone go up
Wow.
over 2 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I believe it's so much environmental because, again, there's low sperm rates, low fertility rates. It's a massive problem for men.
Yes.
So
Definitely something affecting it.
yeah, exactly.
what I mean? Like-
100%. And I actually also got tested and was low testosterone. So that was my next conversation with Dr.
For
Reisig
sure.
was how do we create like a male, like a premium, proven to work, backed by science, all these years of research that you have in your head. Can you put together a male sexual wellness formula to help boost testosterone naturally? And that was why we launched High Level Man, which is the ultimate 12-in-1 testosterone formula. But these are really solution-oriented products
Yeah.
based on the current conversations that you're having, which is like you're keyed into it. But how many guys out there are going like, I just don't feel the way I used to, man.
Yeah.
I don't have my mojo anymore. Can't put my finger on it, but I just feel off.
It's complete luck that I just happened to meet and become good friends with the guy who owns Ways to Well.
Okay.
Had I never met Brigham, You wouldn't.
This
be
was
doing
just
it.
by chance.
Well, he's in the friend group, but yes, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't care about it, and then just the way the world works, I find out that I've got high cholesterol. I'm panicking. I get introduced to a guy.
Right.
Turns out he has this thing.
That's lucky.
Yeah.
Because how many people don't have that? That's
everyone.
That's
I mean,
my-
very, very few people.
That's my story of meeting Dr. Reisig. And
Yeah.
I'm actually so lucky he wanted to partner with me.
Yeah.
Because I do believe in helping guys, girls, like people need to know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're at the leading edge of that, it sounds like, but a lot of people are suffering and they don't know why and they can't put their finger on it. And I was like, if I'm going to get involved in the supplement industry,
Yeah.
I want it to be cutting edge. I want it to be backed by, so it's all medical grade stuff. And yeah. And again,
Not
a lot
proprietary blend.
No
or whatever,
proprietary
right? It's
blends.
Like,
If
this
you-
is what's in there.
yeah,
like-
and I don't know if they have a testosterone product, but this is really based on like guys that don't want to go start injecting themselves and doing all that, which guys are starting to do very young, by the way. There's actually natural ways to raise your testosterone, which makes you feel like yourself again, like you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
So I take both these products every day. I absolutely swear by them. It has been such a game changer for me. I'm 44 years old. I feel the best I've ever felt. I'm obviously passionate about this because why I went into the business, but also feels really good to help people feel their best again.
Yeah, not everyone has the access to Ways to Well, right? And hopefully it'll be around the States. It's growing.
Yeah, it's growing, and I've had conversations with Brigham about how he is working to make it affordable for absolutely everyone, and like basically it's like
blood work.
Well, it's more than just blood work.
Okay.
So they have so much you can do, and you can choose, what
Sure,
you do.
what treatments
so
you
like
want.
I'm in the hyperbaric chamber once a week.
Oh,
I'm in the red
nice.
light beds. I'm in this thing.
So it's
called
like real biohacker.
Yeah, I'm in this ozone sauna thing that like you're in a you're in a spaceship and you're breathing oxygen and you're in this like container and your body is 102 degrees or 100 and something 40 degrees Celsius as a steam room, and they're pumping ozone into it, which is really bad for your lungs but really good for detoxing. So it's opening your pores and pushing ozone into your body.
How long do you go in there for?
30 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm doing all these things, but for people, and that's only if you can go to their clinic in Austin.
Sure.
But for people, I think in most states now, you can just go to you contact Ways to Well. They set you up. You can go to the local CVS to draw your blood.
Okay.
It gets sent to them, and then you do it through a Zoom.
Okay.
And through a Zoom, they'll read your charts.
Break down your blood results.
But they're going to look at like everything from. I mean, they're pulling like 12 vials of blood.
Right.
So I mean, they're looking
Molds,
at
toxins.
well, toxins is a different test. Some
Okay.
toxins, but the toxin and plastic one is a different one. That was a urine test.
It's
Okay.
like your normal biomarkers, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then kind of referring to your biomarkers, they're going to see kind of like why you're low in this and why you're not optimal.
Right.
If you're above optimal here and just like excessively high on this,
Right.
and they're going to figure out like what is going on.
Yeah.
They're going to
And
adjust your EQ.
Yeah, and they're just going to figure out like what's the best route for you instead of, you know, putting a Band-Aid on it, right? Like how can we cure the problem?
Don't treat the symptoms. Treat the root cause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they do.
That's
you know?
awesome. I feel like there's these new companies coming up now that are really disrupting the game in terms of health and wellness, and that's why I went into this as an entrepreneur. And
That's so awesome.
In terms of even just going all in on something, I also realized like you can't chase two rabbits at once. Like I quit entertainment after 20 years of doing this to lean into
Really
being,
focus on it.
being a co-founder of a company. Like there's a lot of, I would say there's a lot of like celebrities out there that slap their name on a product.
Yeah.
And no, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
no
shade.
no shade, to each their own. But like, I really wanted to be a part of building a company
That's awesome.
from the ground up and going across the country to these trade shows and really, getting the word out there to like help people really, again, optimize all the things that we're talking about. I don't think a lot of people, if they knew proper supplementation, just some easy things you can do in your nutrition, and just, it doesn't have to be in a gym all day long, moving your
Yeah,
body, you know, again, these type of things really help you get back to homeostasis. They optimize they optimize everything. And I think, again, that's a big mental health conversation right now too, which is so, I mean, talk about mental health with anybody. It feels like we're in an epidemic of mental health issues right now. I feel like if people understood supplements like this and like the kind that you're talking about, I feel like people wouldn't. I'm so tired of hearing people say, like, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And it's like, you don't have to feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
you could fix it, or at least treat it and start feeling good again. And even I wanted to go back to nutrition too. It's like even just the knowledge of knowing to eat your fiber every day.
Yeah.
Like when you start tracking
it's
food and you
a big
realize
one.
like, oh shit, I ate fucking 5 grams of fiber today. You know,
Right.
and you're like, I wonder why my LDL is so high. It's like if you eat more fiber, that actually helps clear that up for you. You know what I mean?
Totally. I was not, I thought like I'm getting enough omega-3s because like I eat fish every once in a while. We'd have to eat so much
You have to eat
fish
700 grams, I believe,
to
it
get
is,
the amount of
weekly.
EPA and
Which is-
DHA, which is like the building blocks of like every cell in your body.
Basically, fish at least once or twice a day for a week straight.
Which is so much fish.
I have no problem with that.
I know.
You're in the sushi stand.
I'm overloaded.
Well, I'm getting the sushi tonight, so I'll be. But I will say that like we've had so many testimonials from people that take the heart, body, and mind, and then go to their doctor, get blood work like a few months later, and they're like, wow, my cholesterol's in normal range, like everything looks great. And
I'll
like,
report back because I now have 3 years of every 90 days,
Oh, great.
and I know where I'm at.
Nice.
And so I'll take this for the
Yeah.
next 90 days.
Yeah.
I'm actually about to get my 90 days is up. I'm about to get my blood done.
Okay.
And then I'll take this for 90 days, and I'll let you know what it's done.
Please do.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited because, and I would take 2 a day. I would
2?
take the
Okay.
full dose.
He's like,
Okay.
fuck it, really make it happen.
Yeah,
If you run out, I'll send you more. Okay, I got your back. I would say, yeah, the CoQ10. Like, there's a huge conversation right now because every new supplement out there is confusing to people, like methylene blue and this and that. And I'm not knocking any particular supplements, but
Yeah.
some of these things are really not studied, including the peptides,
Yeah.
which are peptides that can potentially work, but a lot of them don't have long-term human studies behind them. So I'm just a really big believer in like, before you do all that, try to do something naturally first.
Yeah.
Before you go that route, because chances are, like, especially if you get a really high premium medical grade product and it's all clean, the ingredients, no fillers, no preservatives, nothing, like, and you take it consistently for a period of time, it's gonna be a game changer for your health.
Yeah.
Well
and,
said.
and before you
Yeah.
take medicine, just optimize, like get yourself in order.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
And then if you're like, because obviously genetics are genetics. Some people have a weaker heart. Some people have a stronger heart. Some people have weaker lungs. Some people have stronger lungs. But if you just throw the Band-Aid, the medicine at it, without even investigating, am I supposed to have a weak heart?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe you just haven't changed your oil in 20 years.
Yep.
Because life happened and you didn't even know that there was a mechanic who could change your oil.
Yes.
Or check your oil levels.
That's
you know?
exactly it.
You just got to check your fluids and then make sure you're topped off. And if you're still not running well, then you start putting some medicine in
Was
there.
it also like
Exactly.
the 90-10 rule, right? Like, and just like basic fitness, health and wellness, overall health stuff, where it's like aim for 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, right? Make sure you eat whole foods as much as you can, right? Eat as much fiber as you can a day. Try to eat as clean as you can, but also follow like the 90-10 rule, where it's like 90% of the time you like try to have a structured diet plan that's like really good, nutritious foods, and then the other 10% enjoy yourself.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
let loose a little bit.
a lot of people have it the other way.
Yeah.
90% of the time it's
Yeah.
like, and I lived that forever, it was like just enjoying myself, and then the other 10%, let me make sure I get some water.
You
Let
need
me
a-
get a glass of water
I feel
today.
like you need a little dose of debauchery every once in a while. Like, but when you live a healthy lifestyle, like you can also, like, again, you can actually, you can do that and still be in incredible health. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think the other thing about nutrition, that's a whole other conversation we get into, which is like a rabbit hole, but like the the depleted soil. Like, you think if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
eating perfectly and veggies and all these things, like, well, they don't have the vitamins and minerals
That's
and
why
nutrients.
supplementation is.
That's why I think I'm a big believer in, and I coach people too, and they'll be like, look, I'm really dialed into my nutrition. I'm like, but even if you ate perfectly nowadays, it's not like the early 1900s where all this comes from organic farming, where the soil had these, you don't get the same
There's
nutrients
too many
and minerals.
environmental toxins.
Yeah.
Just the world
That too,
is
yeah.
beating on you so hard every day just from existing.
Yeah.
I mean, I only eat organic, right?
Yeah, me too.
And I'm full of glyphosates. I'm
Yep.
full of all those things.
That's why.
Because
That's why I don't eat organic.
Well-
I just eat, I'm like, fuck
like, it
I'm
doesn't even
saving
matter,
that
man.
dollar, you know
that's
what I mean?
but that's the that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like I tried one of the first things we tried, because the thing about like, and I feel like this is now just becoming a testimonial for Ways to Well, but like the first thing that we tried is they're like, let's try.
We're just passionate about it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about,
sure.
honestly, like when I'm talking about my stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm just happy and excited to share what's worked for me.
and it's because like,
And that's what you're doing.
and for me specifically, I've always eaten red meat, a lot of it. I eat a lot of meat, and we tried switching me to just seafood and chicken and turkey.
Okay.
All of my vitamins and minerals plummeted, and my
Damn.
LDL went down this much.
Okay.
They were like, get the fuck back on red meat.
Yes.
Eat more red meat
Right.
and fix your testosterone. And my LDL dropped. So now I'm eating more red meat.
Right.
And my testosterone is dropping significant. Or sorry, as my testosterone goes up, my LDL is dropping significantly.
Yeah. Which is like so confusing because, again, red meat was supposed to be so bad for you. Eggs are supposed to be. What we've learned too in the supplement world is there's so much confusion about what
Yeah.
works. That's why, like, if I was going to go into this field, I wanted to partner with someone like Dr. Ryzik.
Yeah.
And I will say on the business tip too, I'm really grateful because our other business partner created Life Alert, Help I've Fallen and I Can't Get
Oh, yeah.
Up. He's like he's created multiple, household name brands. He ran MTV for a decade. His name's
Crazy.
Burt Bedrosian.
So it all goes in full circle.
He helped
kinda.
create the UFC. He helped create the Tap Out brand.
Oh, so he's not bad at business.
No, he's not bad at it. Honestly, like so blessed to be involved with these team members that I have. And then my other long-term business partner was actually my former manager in entertainment, who's incredible at entertainment marketing. Because I think one of the issues with people is like trying to make these conversations fun, because you think it's taking vitamins, and honestly, it sounds so boring to a lot of people. Like, how can we actually create excitement around these things, and the whole conversation of what we're talking about too in the marketing? We're trying to be really fun and creative in the ways that we're doing it, very out of the box marketing as a way to kind of like, because I think millennials is kind of my main age group, but
Yeah.
but the 30s and 40s, like, we're thinking way more about these kind of things than our parents and our grandparents were.
Yeah.
Because of all these environment toxins and all this, like, the landscape has changed in terms of what we're exposed to. So we kind of have to start thinking that way.
We need more tools to survive in this world
Yes.
than you needed before all the toxins were here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so if you flip open TikTok or like Instagram, there are so many conversations about health and wellness now. And it doesn't need to take over your life, but we're not going to have like 100 different SKUs. We are only offering a handful of supplements because Dr. Ryzik will be the first to tell you most supplements don't work.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So like the idea behind high level science is like, if we don't offer it,
Yeah.
it's not backed by 20, 30 years of medical research and science.
Just being straight up, right?
Just being straight up. Like, there's
Yeah.
a handful of things that work, and most of these new supplements you hear about, unfortunately,
Yeah.
they're hype. It's a marketing fad, and it comes and goes. And
Yeah.
then in there, and again, it's not backed by any kind of science. So I love that you guys are so keyed into it, because I can honestly go down this rabbit hole for hours. Like,
No, I love it.
I love it. You guys are both in such great shape.
Well,
man.
I'm
Me
getting
too.
in great shape. This dude, he always wears boxy shirts, so you can't tell, but he's like the most ripped dude I know.
Do you take anything to optimize your hormones or your testosterone?
What do I take?
Because for you, I would say high level man.
just vitamin D usually.
Okay.
That's like all the supplements I take. I said, like, I'm very knowledgeable in like nutrition, health and wellness and stuff. So I do eat fish very often. I try to get 700 grams a week and stuff. from
Oh,
my
so you're
omegas and
tracking it.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like crazy with it, just like
Okay.
you. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm down to take all this.
Dude,
goodness
awesome.
and-
Yeah, I would love to hear your feedback on it. Because
For
again,
sure.
with natural supplements, it's not a pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
You have to take them consistently.
Yeah.
You have to build it into your routine.
Yeah.
It can't be, you're not going to take it one day. You have to,
It is my religion.
it's me too.
It's become
it's
like
a ritual for me.
Well, I just figured, at least for me, if I'm doing it to try to live forever, right?
Me too.
And it's not going to work if I do it every once in a while. And so I got to take it super seriously so that I can do everything else the way that I want to do it. Because I don't have a very healthy schedule. And I
Right.
haven't had a very healthy schedule in 2 decades.
When you're in business and you're an entrepreneur, it's frequently not.
Yeah.
You know, but you're training now for how you want to feel in the next decades of your life.
Yeah.
I do think there's like that futurist, Ray Kurzweil, I think his name is. He says like in 10 to 15 years, we're all going to start living like well into our hundreds. If you could just hang in there for the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to start living.
They're going to figure that out. Or they're going to hook our brains up to some computer and they're going to run simulations where we think, our bodies will be gone, but we'll
be
still
AI.
be, we'll still be
Simulation
playing. And,
of a simulation.
we'll be cyborgs soon. Yeah, living in some simulated reality. I completely agree with that. I definitely feel like the conversation about health and wellness is becoming more exciting for people.
I like that there's more people kind of talking about it too, and just like spreading the knowledge.
Yeah. And I was also like, how do I pivot out of like this, again, being in entertainment for 20 years, like what's the next thing for me?
was that a hard, like, making the decision to get out of entertainment?
I think there was a feeling of like, I am risking future opportunities, and my agent's like, you're at the peak right now, this Broadway, like you can continue to book roles, and you're coming from such a great place with all this on your resume. But I feel like I just felt like I did it. I got the
Yep.
bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Like I did that.
Like
I've
there's
done that
like
already.
You can't go any further. Like you hit a ceiling almost, right?
Yes.
And it's like, all right, what's next?
What's next? Like you get to the top of the mountain and you're like, what's the next peak to climb? I've always been someone that's very excited about challenges.
Yeah.
And challenging myself to do something new was
Yeah.
probably how you feel. Like
Yeah.
I get
Keep you juiced.
I get jazzed on trying to
Yeah.
overcome like new obstacles and challenges versus going back. And again, like, there's a lot of bands from my time that have reunited and they're out doing the tours and all that stuff. And that's great. Like I support the fact that they've done that. I think I've always been someone that's very excited about creating like the next thing. And it's exciting on a different level than going back to like what's safe. You know?
I think also like, there's everyone has like different mountains, right? And like what success is for you, right? Or like what's the top of the mountain for you might be different for someone else, but you hit your top of your mountain.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a safe zone. Like I'm like kind of capped out. Like I want to do something new and exciting and like follow another passion of yours, which is like
Right. And-
overall health, wellness,
yeah. And like,
things that were bothering you that affect other people, and like how can I help other people?
totally, dude. And in entertainment, you're so self-focused.
And
It's like a very
entertainment's like go, sing better, dance better, skate better,
and you're
cook better.
You're focused on yourself, and so
Yeah.
part of I think like taking the knowledge that I've learned in like helping other people. My whole thing is like if I'm a performer, I can change someone's life for an hour or two on stage, but through health and wellness, I could help someone change their life forever.
Yeah.
And that was like really, it's a
Way more meaningful.
way more meaningful. And like you're in coaching,
Yeah.
so like you get it. And like the people that have followed me on this journey too, that come from my fan base, they're like, I listened to your music back in the day, but now I'm taking your supplements and like, I can't thank you enough because like, I feel like a new person again.
Yeah.
That is so much more meaningful to me.
We had
Right
this
to the heart.
conversation like 2 days ago about
Yeah.
about the things we do that are of service
Yeah.
are the things that we get way more excited about when it resonates with people.
Yep.
Totally. being of service, giving back. Like what do you do? You hand it down, like you pass it on. And I feel like I was really grateful to learn a lot. And also avoid the trap of like fame where you like crash and burn and become this like train wreck of a person. Like I was very grateful. I had a lot of people around me that taught me a lot and invested in me. And I was in these major projects where I had to keep myself to be the leading man of all these things. Like I had to work on peak performance. And so becoming like a peak performance coach and then creating like a peak performance supplement line, all of it made sense. But the feedback that I get from people is like so much more meaningful at this
Yeah.
point in my life. Maybe being a dad too has
Yeah.
also fueled that for me. Like you realize like once you have a kid too, and you're like,
Then you start to think about mortality. and
right.
your own mortality. And will I
Yeah.
be there for the graduation? Will I be there for the wedding? Will I be there for the grandkids? You know,
Yeah,
at
because
least that was my. I was way overweight, and I mean, you've seen pictures of me 10 years ago.
Oh, they pop up on my memories.
Yeah,
all
10
the time.
10 years ago, I looked 10 years older than I do now.
wow.
Yeah,
you said you lost 40 pounds.
yeah.
Okay.
But I was
Dude,
like,
congrats.
thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's 3 solid years.
He
of-
looks like a fully different person.
yeah.
You probably feel
The
like a
videos
different
that
I feel.
pop
I mean,
up.
I completely do. I was thinking about what about like moving on, finding new things about how I love that our generation. It's not necessary. It's almost become somewhat normalized, which I think is great. The generations before us, if your grandfather was a plumber, he plumbed until the day he died.
Yeah. One career.
We get to experience life, and we get to try lots of things, and we get to do lots of things. And as much as I love cooking, this little side quest of running a podcast, with one of my best friends, like that's a really fun thing that a couple generations ago you would never do because it cuts into your cooking.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just cook.
That's
all
exactly
the
it.
different things. I think you just get to live a more well-rounded life.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't love cooking. It's not like but there's just you can have a more fulfilling life these days by, switching up what you do, trying new things, and just enjoying life.
Right. And for people like listening to this podcast who may not have a friend in their life that thinks that way, like you're very lucky to have each other to do this venture, right? And not everybody has that person. I'm really grateful. Like my best friend is, again, my manager from entertainment, Bobby Klebanoff. He still works with the Backstreet Boys. He worked for Britney Spears. He was on the entertainment marketing side. But obviously like very entrepreneurial. So when we started this together, like I don't believe in this idea of self-made. I really, there's always key people in your life. Like you become who you're surrounded by. And as a teenager growing up as Jehovah's Witness, I didn't have anybody in my life. So that became books that I read. But I feel like now you have access to podcasts, like Not a Damn Chance podcast, where you can like listen, you can absorb motivational, inspirational conversations. And again, that is so important. Like when people are really suffering in their life, I'm like, you need better friends. Like you need, like
sure.
if your mental health is not great, you're like really, kind of in a down spot. I'm always like, who are you friends with? Who are you hanging out with?
Yeah.
Because if you're around that person that talks the way that we are and has like a bigger vision and gets excited about like leaning into challenges and reframing obstacles and all these things, like it's so valuable for people, which is why this podcast has been so successful for
exactly.
people, right?
I mean, I often do look up and recognize that like I'm probably the least successful friend in my friend group.
And that's a good thing.
Which is always
You crush it. dude.
I always want to be the least successful person in the room.
Maybe not the least successful, but I'm definitely nowhere near the most successful in the friend group. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so like that keeps me,
Yeah.
because like what if you want to start drinking more, go hang out with dudes who drink more.
That's exactly
You want
it.
to start drinking less, go hang out with dudes who drink less.
Right.
And you want to be more successful, go out and hang out with dudes who are successful.
That's exactly it.
You want to play more video games? Go hang out with dudes who play video games. That's all that it is.
That's exactly it.
Your
It-
peers.
yeah.
That was 100% it. Well, we started building this company with Dr. Isaac, and like we assembled our team. Like our other business partner, I mentioned Bert Bedrosian, the guy that's built all these global brands. Like he's my mentor now, and I talk to him for an hour or two every day, and just absorbing his knowledge of building all these companies.
Golden nuggets.
Oh
huh?
my God. Like I feel so lucky. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm able to actually have access to someone like this. Cause they say that you become an average of the 5 people you're closest to. I do think there's there's a lot of wisdom in that.
Yeah.
I also think too, in terms of who you surround yourself with, I am at a point in my life where I'm pretty vicious about who I allow into my inner circle. Cause it just takes one spoiled apple to basically ruin the bunch of apples, right? Like if you have one person in the group that's negative, you have one person in your life that's toxic, like really throw you off your game.
I was talking to Jelly Roll, who's a friend of ours, and
Love Jelly Roll.
yeah, he was actually episode number 1.
Oh, sweet.
for the NADC podcast. But I was talking to him about because I've spent a decent amount of time like with him and his crew and on tour, and I was like, I gotta tell you, the most impressive thing is that every single person in your circle, and it's a big fucking circle,
Okay.
is super kind and super sweet. and treats me so well and treats my wife so well and treats our friends so well. And they just have a very, very strict no asshole policy.
I love that policy.
You cannot be a part of this group if you are an asshole.
That's a great policy.
And it's something that I actually, because like
Awesome.
he was telling me he has like which we don't have to go all the way into, but like almost like a checklist of you have to meet all these boxes to get into this group, and then you have to continue to check all these boxes to stay in this group.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck, I was like, can you help me hire for my new restaurant? Because like, and already now I've talked with Margarita, my wife, like when we opened Crumley Ranch, it's like we're gonna have a very, very strict no asshole policy.
Boom.
Because it's so easy
Boom.
to not, even if you're not an asshole, it's a stressful environment.
Yeah.
100%.
For everybody working
But
there.
you
for
got to
everyone being there.
still be excited.
Yeah.
You still got to, be happy and not let that get to you.
Yes. I actually love this idea. And it's like this idea that as you grow your social network, it's like a tree that grows and these branches grow and you meet
Yeah.
all these people. But as that tree grows, as your social network grows, you also need to prune viciously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prune viciously because, like, again, when you first meet people, it's a mask.
Yeah.
We all have a social mask that we wear. Once you actually start working,
Or you don't have glasses yet.
yeah, right, exactly. Some beer goggles on
Yeah.
maybe at first. You basically, it takes time to get to know people, and no better way to get to know people than being in business with them and
Yeah.
starting to work alongside
Yeah.
them. They've done studies that like one negative person in any work environment brings down the productivity of the entire team. Wow. You have to be all kind of vibrating on that positive frequency and that wavelength, and it fuels what you're building. So I love this. I've never heard it framed as a no asshole policy. I'm
Yeah.
enacting that in my life.
It's so, because like there was a moment when it happened, because like I had been around this group many times in the professional settings, and then one night I stayed over at the house, like where the crew was staying.
Okay.
And everyone in their pajamas eating chips and salsa at 2:00 in the morning, and still everybody's so sweet.
Right.
And then in the morning waking up and everyone's so sweet, and not just sweet to me, sweet to each other. And I've been on, I was living on the road I was a high school dropout, and I was touring for probably 4 years, like US, like almost consistently.
Is that
for 4
because
years.
success came so early? It just didn't make sense to finish school.
Yeah, well, we got signed, and it was like I was in a band. When I joined this band, I joined summer after the 8th grade.
Okay.
And it was summer after everyone else's 12th grade. So
Okay.
they were all out of high school.
Right.
And then within a year, we got signed, and it was like time to go hit the road.
Did your parents support that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It was just I had to have
That's-
a full-time job
Okay.
whenever I was home. I could not sleep past like there was rules that went along with it. But like I know how easy it is when you're on tour to bicker
Yeah.
and get emotional.
Yeah.
And all of those things, and I just wasn't seeing it. And I was like, oh, it's because you just surround yourself with only people who either are capable of coping, or it comes naturally to them, or
Or it's a choice that you make.
or you just drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think maybe to a certain degree, like happiness is a choice that you make, or what you choose to focus on and what you choose to think about.
Yeah.
So when you're in a group of people that are all, again, kind of on that same tip of like focusing on positives, it becomes a lot easier. Right. I do think there's a lot of wisdom in who you surround yourself with. And again, I came from a small town where people are like, you'll never make it. Don't even think about getting signed. Don't even think about a record deal. Like nobody does that. You got a 1 in a billion chance,
But you need that sometimes. Like that's my biggest fuel.
Me too. I would.
Fed you, yeah.
Oh my God. I call it eating hater bars
So
for fuel. I eat hater bars for breakfast.
love
I call it my McFly.
Oh, your McFly?
Yeah, my Marty McFly.
Your Marty McFly.
My Marty McFly is when you tell me I can't do it or it can't get done. Fuck you.
Yes.
There's not a damn chance I'm failing.
Watch me.
I'm gonna fucking, and I might almost do it now just because you said I
Just
can't.
because you
fucking do
said
it.
I can't. I'm the same type of person. Are you that way? Like if you tell me I can't do something, there's like a part of me that just wants to do it now because you said I could.
Yeah. No, for
Like
sure.
I'm going to prove you
know?
wrong now. I think naysayers and haters are a sign like you're doing something right.
We talk about that a
Yeah.
lot too.
For sure.
Like if you don't have
if you don't have them,
if you don't have some level of haters,
Yeah,
you're probably not you're probably not putting yourself out there enough yet.
yeah,
Or
for sure.
or going for something big enough. Because it's the hermit crab effect, right? Where it's like in an aquarium of hermit crabs, one crab will try to claw their way out, and the other hermit crabs will pull it back down.
Yeah,
That's like human beings to a certain degree.
It's that monkey study, right? You know the monkey study?
No.
So they put a ladder with a bunch of monkeys, and they put a banana up on top.
Okay.
And the banana, when they would go get the banana, they would like spray the monkeys or something.
Okay.
And over time, and then they would remove the monkeys one by one and put a new monkey in.
Okay.
By the time that they cycled through the whole first cycle of monkeys, nobody would. Maybe that's not how it. Maybe it wasn't they sprayed them, but for some reason they basically nobody could remember after they had cycled out enough monkeys. Nobody could remember why you're not supposed to go up there, but all the other monkeys would tear them down.
Just because.
Can you pull that up real fast? Because now I feel like he's already got it up. Wow. Group of scientists, researchers place 5 monkeys in a room that contain a ladder in the center and a banana atop the ladder. It isn't long before one of the monkeys attempts to go for the banana, but as soon as that happens, a scientist comes in and sprays all the monkeys with ice cold water from the hose.
Okay.
If any other monkey attempts to go for the banana, the same thing happens and continues to happen until the monkeys refuse to
So
go
they're
for the bananas.
conditioned with a negative response.
Yeah, but at this point, a scientist switches out a wet monkey with a dry monkey who has no idea what has been going on in the room and is probably wondering why everyone is wet and angry. This is a new naive monkey, blah, blah. One by one, the rest of the monkeys of the wet monkeys are replaced by dry monkeys, and each one attempts to go out for the banana, only to be violently stopped by the other monkeys. It eventually gets to the point where no wet monkeys is left behind, only dry monkeys in the room, yet they still won't attempt to grab the banana, thinking something bad will happen.
Wow.
So every time anyone gets a banana, everyone gets sprayed.
Wow.
And every time the guy gets the banana, he goes out, a new monkey comes in. Eventually, no one's getting sprayed, but no one's going for the banana.
It's Pavlov's
just
dog. Yeah, this is learned behavior.
Yeah.
I did not know about that.
Yeah,
study.
and that is, I mean, that's so much of our society.
100%. 100%. And also the fear of like, again, I think it's so much in our imagination, but the fear of what other people are going to think.
Yeah.
It's such a scary thing. It keeps people in their box.
Well, you were lucky to overcome that, or at least be faced with that at a very young age, in a way that most people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's true. And I think that that adversity was a great training ground for future judgment from people when you're basically disowned by everybody you've grown up with. Like it kind of gives you like a superpower.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. So yeah, I feel like I guess that's not a normal childhood. Because when I said normal childhood earlier, you were like,
No, but it's necessary for your storyline.
yeah, exactly. A necessary part of the growth. Yeah, I feel like it's so many of the things that you're talking about, and especially with Jelly Roll too. Like, I'm a huge fan of his. He seems like a really cool guy, right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He is as genuine as you would think.
Yeah, he seems like it.
There was actually some
Who's
fitness influencer or whatever who posted a thing, and I actually got angry enough that I replied to it because it was some video of Jelly Roll saying that he like didn't take Ozempic.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, I've been training people for 20 years, and there's no way you can lose that kind of weight. And,
Right.
You know, he's lying to you, and it'd be so helpful if he didn't lie, and blah blah. And I was like, and I felt obligated to be like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about.
good?
You just like,
Boom.
and if you really don't believe that can happen, I would like to introduce you to Ways to Well, because
Yeah.
for 2 years, because he talks about Ways to Well in the video. He goes there, and I know he gets supplements, and they must be giving him this, and they're just not telling. And I'm just like, dude, that's like the level of hater that's just like ridiculous, because you can actually fix things. You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Social media is such a great tool, but then you put yourself out there and you expose yourself to people that have had a bad day.
Yeah,
They're
it could
taking it
also
out
be-
on you. They'd never say this to you in real life, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
That guy would never say that in real life. But there's this like, you're hiding behind a screen.
Exactly.
So people take these shots at you and fire these missiles at you. And so like sometimes I'll read comments, but I've been really grateful. Like I don't really get a lot of hate online, but every once in a while I'll pop in when I feel like I need to reframe what someone's saying. But for the most part, do you spend a lot of time responding to people? Because
No.
I don't get in fights with
No.
people on social media.
I only respond basically to my friends or people that I know,
Yeah.
or just kind people
Yeah,
that are using it for like positivity and sharing and knowledge, I'm not really into the whole playing.
I don't think it's good for you to argue online with people.
And two, it's like
I don't think it's healthy.
I also
not.
don't like to dig into comments. Like right when I post something, like I'll answer a couple homies and friends and people saying stuff like for like the first 10 minutes, and then I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah,
I
my
don't,
favorite thing is when like someone will say, very rarely it happens, like someone will say something negative, but then everyone else in the comments
attacks
will
will
attack
actually
Yeah.
attack
That's
them,
so
because
sweet,
I've built
yeah.
a very kind-hearted like
Yeah.
community.
and
on
I,
what
and I
we
love
get
that.
that.
I feel like that's the best way to have it, because it's like it's a tool, and there's no, when you have a lot of followers, like it's very unnatural to hear what 1,500,000 people have to say about you. When
Dude,
they don't
so-
actually know you. You know
Right.
what I mean? But like, this is my opinion. I'm gonna tell you what I think, and it's like it's unnatural. So I just don't even look at it. It's just like whatever.
Same.
You
Same.
think whatever you want.
I would
but
never read, for the most part, I wouldn't read reviews of my performances.
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I wouldn't read reviews of my songs or my albums.
Mm-hmm.
Like I stay away from it, because critics, honestly, like what is a critic's job? Is to be critical.
Yeah.
And it's all subjective too. Like, we have restaurants. It's like, it's all subjective. It's like, you may not like pickles. That's fine. I love pickles.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
We're also
it's
so
like-
trained to like see the negative. Like
Yeah.
when we're driving through a neighborhood, like we never like
But
crane our
but
head.
are we trained to see that because of that monkey
Probably
experiment?
We're all
We don't even know. You know what I mean?
We're not that far away in DNA from monkeys.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the day. We're I guess advanced primates compared to monkeys, but
one thing that I hate though, definitely, well, not hate, but it bothers me, is like when, critics go into a place and they're like, oh, this was not salty enough, or it was too salty, and they've only tried it once. And it's like, being in the restaurant industry, over salting or under salting something it's gonna happen. The chef's back there, he's going, the cook's going, you know what I mean? It's gonna happen. Like, you can't just base it off of your one experience.
yeah,
You need
well,
to
yes.
Yes and no. Consistency is important. And
Consistency
we work
is
with the guys
important.
on being consistent. What I have more of an issue with that is what's your fucking opinion of too much salt and not enough?
Yeah, because there's different pellets.
Because everyone's going to have a different opinion.
Of course.
There are
it's so
some people, like
subjective.
we've had, it doesn't happen in a very long time, but like in the 2000s, people would send back in LA food, oh, it's too salty. And you taste it, you're like, there's no fucking salt in here.
This is perfect.
And so like it's the subjectivity.
Yeah,
It's the idea
that's
of
what it
like,
is.
if you're a big horror fan and you hate rom-coms, you should not be reviewing a rom-com.
100%.
Or if you do, you need to say to the audience, your audience, I am normally not a fan of this type of this genre.
Yeah.
With that said, here's what I think. It fucking sucked because I hate this genre.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, fair.
For
I,
sure.
I don't pay attention as much to the critics. Like if I go to Rotten Tomatoes
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
for a movie, I always go on what is the audience score?
'Cause here's
what
the
are
real-
people actually saying?
The only important critic, other than for your own ego, like in food, Michelin is for your ego, right?
Right.
But the important person to impress is the guest who's paying the money they earned at work today.
Not the restaurant critic.
Yeah, I mean, you want to,
You want
of
to.
course, but like I would rather have every critic say the food sucks, and every person who spends their money and eats there loves it and comes back.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Well, if I paid attention to the critics in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You wouldn't be where you're
sure.
at.
No,
you wouldn't be where you're
well,
at.
but that's part. I mean, I paid attention to it in the beginning.
Sure.
You know, I was lucky enough to be in bands, in high school in the, I guess, late 90s, early 2000s, where like chat rooms, message boards were
Right.
just coming up. So I got to get,
feedback.
well, it wasn't feedback. It was mean. But I got to get my guy to thicken my skin
Yeah.
in my teens. So as I got to prepare me for the things that would come up. So now, like if I get, like you asked, do I respond to the comments? Almost never. The only comments I respond to is if somebody is a hater for a misunderstanding
Okay.
or like a misrepresentation. Someone will be like, this burger, it's crazy, it's $30. And I'll be like, it's actually 16. This burger, it's tiny, it's only 2 ounces. Actually, it's 6 ounces.
Right.
I will correct people in those ways. But we got one of the funniest comments. I sent it to you 2 days ago.
Yeah, but that was like, And that was another one of those accounts that don't matter. It's like
Yeah.
0 followers, like
Yeah.
no posts. It's
Right.
like this is just a clown account that's just there to talk shit.
There to
You know
talk
what I
shit
mean?
and to
it's
be
like,
negative.
But
I don't even
most-
want to talk about like
But most of
try
them
to
are.
knock the wind out of you to make
Yeah,
themselves feel better. Like I hate that.
those are the worst.
And now everybody has an opinion, and Yelp and Google reviews and all these things. Like
Yeah.
we've been really lucky to have great reviews on our products. But
Yeah.
I'm always like, I always love watching how, like, again, like if you have a restaurant or if you have whatever product it is, like I always love seeing how the business will respond.
Yeah.
I always love reading those because I know enough about negative people to not pay attention to those reviews.
Yeah, well, here's what you do, and hopefully nobody takes advantage of this. You take responsibility. As a business, it is your obligation to take responsibility. Someone comes in and they have a bad time, you invite them back on you.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
You're supposed to say, I apologize. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm going to work with my team to make sure this doesn't happen again. It was not supposed to have happened. So let me invite you back in so you can have it as it was intended.
Yes.
That's the correct way to respond.
And you can actually
Now-
flip people into being your biggest fans by
That's
doing that.
I've gotten so much out of life from taking people who were my most scathing critics.
Yes.
And then they become lifelong supporters.
Absolutely.
And because most people just want to be heard and they want to feel respected.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can tell, like, we don't respond that to every single
yeah,
critique.
you could tell when
Sure.
they're real.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right,
mean? And,
right.
and if it's just someone trying to pull a quick one.
But like,
course.
You know?
or there'll be a thing where like they say, you know, it's like, well, I was there, that didn't happen, you know. So then you just don't respond to that.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
You know, I've had like we opened a restaurant in Montreal, and before we opened, we had 65 1-star reviews before we opened.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
Right. No. How's
We're
that
not
even
even
possible? How's that even possible?
Well,
and
once-
why did that happen?
It happened because we announced I did a news segment, and it made national news what we were paying our staff, because we pay more than everyone else. But apparently in Canada we were paying wildly more than everyone else.
So it wasn't even about the food.
No, they hadn't opened yet.
Wow, right.
Yeah, so this was I am assuming this was just other business owners trying to get us out of business so that they don't have to pay their staff,
Yep.
you know, fairly.
And that's a part of it. It
Yeah.
might be some competitor trying to take you down in the reviews.
Yeah.
It's-
But you could also just be like, hey, I would love to invite you in next time on me, and they're never going to come.
You can, if you kill them with kindness and you
Yeah.
have great customer service, you can, like you said, you can flip the most scathing critic into a lifelong fan.
I feel like that's key right there, is like kill them with kindness and never break your cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
Like,
get emotional.
Don't
about it.
ruin your positivity.
Yeah.
Like where you're at mentally, right? Don't
Yeah.
let it affect you.
Yeah.
You know, like
We deal with that a little bit because we do these trade shows where we set up our products. You know,
Yeah.
we go to the biggest ones across the country, but there's always some person that wants to come in
Yeah.
and just take a pot shot at what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
And what you realize, I always engage these people and I talk with them. And what you almost always realize too is they've often failed at some other thing in their life that was similar to what you're doing. They
And now
often,
they don't want you to succeed because they didn't succeed.
Yes.
But all they had to do to succeed is just not give up.
Right.
And that's the whole point of this, is like, if you just never give up, you will eventually find whatever you call success.
3 inches from gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I think that's what's inspiring about, and I got a chance to listen to your guys' podcast before I came on.
awesome.
And I can't wait to keep listening because I like to listen to something when I work out.
Yeah.
Because it kind of takes my mind off like what I'm doing. Do you do that? Do you listen to stuff like while you're exercising to kind of take your mind off of it a little bit?
I usually just have like loud ass music.
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just going.
I'll flip back and
You know
forth.
what I
'cause
mean? Yeah.
Dude,
I
sometimes I need those power songs, which is actually, music can be a performance enhancing
Yeah,
drug
for sure.
when you're actually trying to do some
Maxing out or
heavy ass
something.
exercise. It's been proven to actually help you lift stronger
Yeah.
and go harder,
Yeah.
which is why they've banned listening to music in some
Oh, wow.
professional
Because they can
athletic
hurt
event.
themselves, or it's like considered like
It's,
Cheating.
it's considered as form of cheating because it's actually
Performance
Yeah, but
enhancing
everybody,
drug.
It's a performance
but
enhancing.
everybody can do it. So you should, you know,
Right.
That's like saying you can't have the better cleats because it makes you better.
yeah, exactly. I think they should allow it, especially in like long, like endurance running.
Yeah.
Like they don't allow it because they've studied
can
the
zone
brain.
out,
It's
yeah.
like a performance enhancing drug. But
Yeah, but if you make the handicap even for everyone, then it shouldn't matter. But
right.
at least I would would think.
Yeah.
I think what's so great about your podcast, like what I was going to say was like, I think people think about training their body, but they don't think about training their mind.
Yeah.
And like Not a Damn Chance podcast is what I call like going into the mental dojo.
Yes.
Like you're going to the mental dojo now. Now you're going to sharpen your mental game.
Yeah.
And if you actually carve that into your schedule, and it doesn't have to be at the gym, like even if you're doing chores or washing the dishes or laundry, like if you just take 15, 20 minutes minimum to absorb something that is motivational, that is inspirational, like you train and sharpen your mental game to become tough and resilient because of what you're focused on. And that's why I loved your podcast as soon as I
Thank you.
started
I
listening
love
to
that,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
It's so important. It's so important.
Well, then you probably know what the final question as we start to wrap up is.
I'm ready for it.
If you actually listen, now we'll find out.
I'm
No,
ready
no, I'm
for it.
kidding. So
I've rehearsed it in advance.
Oh, all right.
I'm ready for it.
Well, so I'll reiterate anyways. So we always, as we start to wrap up, which I believe is actually maybe our longest episode so far,
Yeah,
or
one of
getting
the
close
longest,
to our
yeah.
longest,
love it.
which is great because I've already unbuttoned my pants because I have to pee so bad.
Yeah, me too. And by the way,
I've
thank
legit
you.
unbuttoned it. You know.
I've done the same actually. I crushed this liquid death.
But as we start to wrap up, we always end with the exact same question. It's the only thing we have planned every episode, and that is, we've heard your story, how you started, where you've gone, where you are today. Where do we find you 10 years from now? Like, I mean, if you had the ability, magic lamp on the table, you can design your entire existence and the world around you. What's that look like 10 years from now?
I am so excited to be where I'm at now. Every obstacle, every adversity has led to this. And I felt a calling to go into health and wellness because, again, like I said, I feel like I'm giving back to the world. And I want to do that through health and wellness, which is why I created a supplement brand, teaching people proper supplementation. But I want to make high-level science a household name. I want people to know what they can do to optimize not just their physical health, but their mental health, their emotional health. It feels so damn good to be out there spreading that message to the world. And again, so much more fulfilling to give back to a community of people and actually provide real value. I feel like I'm very blessed and grateful to be where I'm at right now, to have launched this business, to be on the Not a Damn Chance podcast talking about my journey to get here. And I want to just keep spreading this message because it feels so damn good.
So am I to take that to understand your 10 years from now is kind of live and let live, see what happens?
Yeah.
Just keep on the path, just on the journey.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep doing health and wellness. I really
love that.
I love that. Might be one of my
Yeah.
favorite answers.
I look at people that of the people I've always looked up to have pivoted multiple times. This is my pivot, but I feel like this is the final chapter of my
Yeah.
pivot. You can look and feel your best in any decade. I saw Rolling Stones and Mick Jagger was 82 years old.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get it because you're on stage. He's bouncing around like he's 21,
Yeah.
but he proper supplementation, nutrition. He exercises.
Yeah.
Cher
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
For her age, and I think again, what our parents and grandparents' version of 30s and 40s and 50s
Very different.
is so different. Like
Yeah.
I know it sounds cliche to say like 40 is the new 30 or 50 is the new 30,
Yeah.
but I truly believe
True.
I think we're in an awakening and an enlightenment age of health and wellness, and to be spreading that message and to be kind of at the forefront of that is very exciting for me. And that's why I'm super grateful that you guys had me on so I could talk about it. I really appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for coming on. Where can people find this?
Our website is livehighlevel.com.
Okay.
We're also on Amazon. We're on Target. We're on Walmart. We just sealed a deal with the biggest national retailer you could think of for supplements. I can't announce it yet.
Sick.
But
Let's
we're
go,
going to
dude.
be in every store across
Hell yeah.
the
Dope,
nation.
man.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's
That
been
is so awesome.
thank you. I really appreciate that.
And thank you for this because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to start taking these every
same
day,
here.
and I can't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
because I actually will be able to tell you blood before, blood after.
because you get it every
Yeah.
90 days.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, heart, body, and mind. I was sleeping on this, and again, it's this formulation.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping on those ingredients, and I'm excited to hear your feedback
Hell yeah.
on it. Just make it part of your ritual. Make it
100%.
make it part of your routine.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
You have an Instagram and all that stuff too?
Yeah, oh yeah. So
can find you
people,
on?
if people search Ashley Parker Angel,
Okay.
I'll pop up on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that. And
Rad,
so
dude.
I'm on all those channels. But yeah, this is like, I love what you guys are doing with this, and you guys have had amazing guests on. So
Thank
for
you, man.
me, it was like an honor and a privilege to be invited on and to join, now what is a growing list of amazing people that you've had on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Well, dude,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for what you're doing for
Yeah.
for everyone.
Thank you.
And yeah,
Super grateful to have
let's
you
do
on.
it again.
Yeah, absolutely,
man.
guys. Thank
Hell
you.
yeah.
Appreciate
you,
it.
brother.
Thanks, guys.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Hit subscribe now if you want to follow along. We have some awesome guests lined up that we sit down with. Make sure you follow the Not a Damn Chance podcast on socials at NADC Podcast. We'll see you next week.